Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory. They were a little bit lower early on. We're trying to get back to the upside as we speak here. We have a number of Dow components doing well this morning. Boeing, first off, to the upside. Bloomberg, the first to report that the FAA has granted Boeing access to the 737 MAX once again. So the ungrounding is official, it would appear, although the FAA has not published that report yet, but looks like it is a done deal. So we'll have a look at Boeing up big time this morning. We had a little more positive news on the vaccine-related front as well, with Pfizer and BioNTech coming out with final data on their COVID-19 vaccine trial, saying never mind 90% that we were talking about last week. It's actually 95% effective. So good news on the vaccine front as well. We had the NASDAQ up about 9% on the month. The S&P still nicely higher, about 10% on the month. The Dow leading the way, though, 12% higher so far for this month. EV makers back in focus as well. NIO reporting aftermarket yesterday. We'll have a look at that. Morgan Stanley upgrading Tesla shares. Also, DraftKings getting an upgrade this morning from Morgan Stanley. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Here we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Nice look, pretty much top to bottom. Japan, the only one in negative territory there. We'll shift over to Europe. Have a look at how things are shaping up in positive territory, but only just. Let's go over to North America next and have a look at futures. Back to the upside, as I was mentioning, trying anyways to get back into positive territory after an early little decline there for futures. TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.16% at this point. Brazil's open, trading lower. We have Bitcoin, another full percent to the upside. Crude oil's higher and gold back to the downside. Good morning, guys. We have lots to get through coming up in the next half an hour. If you're joining us for the first time, guys, we talk about all the individual names that are moving around the pre-market. All about Boeing shares this morning. Big 5% move for Boeing, guys.
We're throwing hot dogs everywhere here because we're already talking here on the DraftKings and what's up to Dan McIsaac. He wanted some hot dogs there. DraftKings, big mover today already, Neil. So, lots of things happening, especially Boeing. We're going to be looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, Boeing, we talked, it was literally a week ago yesterday when we were talking about this date and Boeing getting the MAX back online. Southwest, who flies the most of these, they're waiting till mid next year to go on board. But AAL, American Airlines, end of the year, they're going to have them back in service. That is the plan. At least, everything seems to be going okay with Boeing. But, obviously sometimes you're going to see a bit of a dip into the news. We talked about this last week. You already had like a $50 move from the bottoms of last week when we knew this was coming into some interesting ranges. So, we'll be cautious with Boeing. NIO earnings. Obviously, that's going to be big. They did have good numbers, but I do see still coming off just a little bit. It was trying to hold positive, now turned down 1.5%. So there might be some bottom picking here in NIO. And then there was still some retail to come in. But the only thing I can find that didn't look fantastic was Lowe's, but Target blowing it out of the water, Sean.
Yeah, no surprise there. Target's been a beast lately, and it's not going to stop. Pfizer also making moves. We have Dow 30,000 on watch, Brendan.
Yeah, we will see if we can't get back above that 30,000 mark once again for the Dow. As I mentioned, a number of Dow components in play today. We'll talk about Boeing coming up here. My screen is not loading, but I wanted to show this headline if I could real quick here, guys. Carnival, one from the watch list, guys. Carnival on the watch list today. They've canceled through to the end of January, it looks like, any U.S. cruises. I'll double check on, it looks like U.S. cruises from U.S. ports through to the end of January. Carnival just out with that headline, canceling those. So, still not great for, there's a couple of offerings with the cruise lines this morning as well, both Carnival and NCLH. Here's what's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Brand new educational video coming your way. We're talking a little bit longer term, a couple weeks, maybe months to play out, but potential election trade opportunities or post-election trade opportunities. Valeria will have the link for you for that video coming up about 11:40 or 11:45. Speaking of Miss V, let's go over and say good morning to her.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, traders. I wish you all a great day. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share the link with friends, and smash the like button. Take it away, Brandon.
Yes, let's indeed get on with things. Coming up a little bit later on this afternoon, keep in mind it's Wednesday. That means 1 p.m. We do live recording of brand new educational videos. For about an hour, we'll sit down and discuss all of those great topics coming your way about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So come back right here, this very channel, and join us for that. Let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market so far this morning. Lots to get through. NEO first off. I mean, their earnings were decent, it seemed. We did get a move to the downside after they reported the loss, and then the forecast for deliveries seemed to be a little bit disappointing. They forecast 16,500 to 17,000 vehicle deliveries for the next quarter, Q4, but that seemed to be a bit of a disappointment. Everything else, though, guys, big time winning numbers here for NEO.
Winning.
Yeah, and when you're up this much and when you've had this kind of a run, I guess it's not that surprising that you're looking for something which is going to blow everyone out of the water. And I think just to put it in a little perspective, of course, you had the Citron report and you get that fall off of last week, just to show you the 15-minute chart. And just to give that outlook, we're starting to get into what might be, I hate to say it, but it might be a bit of a range if we can hang around here. I mean, I look at this like 48 to 49, this 50 area. That could provide a little bit of cover to the top side here, and then we're about to breach this level where we had a dip by yesterday, 45.60 or so. So that was the first level I had on watch, and then I'm going to look down towards not necessarily yesterday's bottom, a little bit lower than that, like 43.50, before I'd be a little bit confident again. But immediately this 45.60 looks like it might not be holding. If we open lower than that, I was going to look to retrace. In NIO, a lot of this was talking while I was writing these levels down, looking at it while we're trading a little bit higher, closer to that 47. So the sell has come in here in NIO.
Yeah, 46.50, we like that one to break. I mean, it was right here. We had 46.50 yesterday, bounced around a little bit in the afternoon at 46.50 before breaking up and then heading to 47.50. And then the number comes down, we go out, and then we have some more bouncing around spots there. So, I'll be all over this one hopefully today anyways, if it gives me the opportunity. I'm going to go long right here on this break of 46.50. Otherwise, if you're short or you're holding the bag from yesterday, I look at this consolidation here around 4 o'clock. This bottom is 44.50, and then the top here 45.50. So you're in this little dollar range here. If you break down below 44.50, then I become a seller. Other than that, I'm a buyer 46.50. So I'm not going to not try to play it early in that range. But if we break 44.50 downside, we're going in. And if we break 46.50 to the upside, let's go.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive yesterday afternoon. I mean, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30 anyways. It was the volume was just amazing in NIO yesterday. So definitely worth a watch once again. Morgan Stanley busy today on the upgrade front. We have Tesla catching a Morgan Stanley upgrade to overweight. The actual language used in that story was finally getting an upgrade from Morgan Stanley to overweight from equal weight. They put a $540 price target on the stock. That's up from $360. Comes after, obviously, we talked about yesterday, guys, the call from the S&P for Tesla.
Yeah, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, my math is bad. That's right, that price target right around the split adjusted top. So, that's obviously going to be in play at some point, just not necessarily right now. We'll be looking forward to whether or not it still comes in 2 tranches when it gets added to the S&P 500. Haven't heard anything along those lines further, so I think it just looks like the 21st. Obviously, you saw the sell-off yesterday, came in bullish, did a dip buy, and then eventually turned into the short trade. I'm still looking at a couple of levels from yesterday. Of course, one of them is going to be, if we ever get there, 462.50. That was a great reversal on a pop after the open, and that's what indicated the short. We're looking at breakouts at that price. So I still like that one if we ever get there, and it looks like firm resistance. Obviously, that 450 mark, which was such a good breakdown, that looks like it's going to be a bit of a line in the sand as well. So, I mean, any kind of a quick test of that and a fallback off, and I think maybe you're looking to sell. If we hold one of these levels, like 443, 445, something like that off the open, then a 450 break could be in play. If it gets really, really frisky to the downside, I really like 423 to 425. Just going into last week's action, a couple of tops at that price, I really think it would be a nice little buy if it ever got down there. I'm not saying it will, but just keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'm not saying it will either. I don't think, I mean, on upgrades, unless the market crashes, which it could do, I like Tesla today, and I don't think there's any reason not to. We're only up that 1.31%, but look at the NASDAQ just turning red now and starting to make a move down. So that's the one reason here that I think and I'm bull and bear, more bullish than bearish on most days, but I just have a feeling today that we're going to have to look south side on a lot of these names, including Tesla, most likely. And again, yeah, yesterday in the afternoon, we just made a horrible range. And we talked about Tesla a little bit here in the last week or two, or the last couple, actually maybe the last month or so, but like when Tesla's in this kind of a range, this is like a $3 range here, basically in the whole last hour of trading. It's not great trading for Tesla right now, in my opinion anyways. And then today you're gonna get in the same kind of range as well. Hopefully we break out of it. And if we do, then I do like this top 453. But you break down here, I think we got a good short. 438, we're gonna put our short in. I think that's more closer to where we can get to. And then Neil mentioned 425. If 438 breaks, we'll see what happens after that, but I like 438 or a long in this area, 440, just to defend it.
All right, guys, let's go to Boeing, the big one this morning. I just had a look, about to make a new high on the pre-market anyways. For Boeing, Bloomberg reporter, the first one to come out this morning on Twitter saying that it was a done deal, FAA granting them permission to unground the 737 MAX. The FAA has actually not completely published the report yet, but there were specific details when it comes to training and ground clearance posted to their website very early on this morning. So it appears to be a done deal anyways for the 737 MAX getting back in the air.
So look, it's obviously worth noting here that it already sort of broke out off of this speculation last week. And certainly you had this like this 190 level. We had an awesome dip buy into what was previous resistance at 175. Now we're staring in the face this 235 area, just going all the way back into midsummer here. That's actually in June. It feels like to me it'll be hard pressed to necessarily get through that very clean today, just given how far we've run, and that obviously this news was a little bit expected. I think we've already seen a few days run into it. So now I'm going to look to this 235, and if we have any hesitation off that level, I'll be a seller in Boeing. Now, all that said, there was this little turnaround point here, 223 in the pre-market, that I did notice. We had some ramp up off of here before it was resistance and then turned into a bit of support. So if we get a dip that holds 223, I think you got a nice little long trade off of this level at the open, as long as it can hold in that first minute or two.
Okay, I'm going to, just getting ready here for GE. I'm going to talk about another name here that I think has some headwinds, some tailwinds, with Boeing, and that's going to be General Electric. They do have a lot of business with Boeing. You guys should know that already. So does Spirit Air, SPR. That's another name to look at. I like GE here. Here's the imbalance locator. You guys love looking at this. So here it comes for you. Pfizer with news today also coming through. GE. I had some stock I've never heard of before, PLTR, we'll figure out what that is. Boeing, and of course that's Palantir, we love that stock. AMC, Nokia, but here's GE. So the reason why we're gonna talk about GE here, up 3.2%. I like this 10.05 level here, if we can break that. We've already broken out from GE. I wish I would have put a stamp to buy on this one at 8. We just did cover this. More important with this, we broke out through 850 here on GE, made a bottom 6 and change, all the way back to 13, come back in February, post-COVID, pre-COVID, and now we're busting out again through 10. So I really like GE here, and some of the pin action that should happen with GE. Again, GE not up as much as Boeing today, but 3% is nice for this name. They don't pay a dividend anymore, so I don't love it in the long-term account, but I think you can swing this stock a little bit here. 10.05, if we can go long GE around 10.05, let's see what happens at the open. But look at this, Brendan, and I mean, a lot of you guys have maybe never seen a live level 2. We're going to see what happens at open, but that's a lot of shares. This is times 100, so you got 1 million shares just sitting right there on the open. My math is correct, but that's going to get paired off, hopefully, with this buy. So we're going to wait to see what happens here at $10. But Brendan, that's a little spicy.
Yeah, that's a big offer sitting there. Yeah, it was George Soros. That story came out. As far as Palantir is concerned, we saw PLTR there on the imbalance locator. If we could jump to my screen, guys, real quick. Yeah, this came out aftermarket yesterday. George Soros involved in Palantir. So there was a little bit of a catalyst there for PLTR as well. Let's go to Pfizer next. We mentioned it last Monday, obviously. They came out with preliminary interim data on their vaccine, talking about 90%, but 90% is clearly not good enough, so they had to come out with final data saying, wait, no, it's actually 95% effective as far as the vaccine is concerned. So they're talking about possible emergency use authorization in the coming days, guys.
Yeah, the days part is what I think stood out there. 95%. Oddly enough, just barely better than Moderna's at 94.5%. Go figure. We saw Pfizer sell off initially when they gave that 90% report, and there was some concern about the temperature which they have to store it, and they're looking into improving that, and there's some logistical issues with transporting it. All that being said, there's a lot to still come for this in terms of when eventually this gets rolled out and when people are actually able to use it. So I'm going to go with the standard type of fade play. The only difference is, if it does break, if we break out like 37.55 or so, there is this level going back a couple of sessions ago, this 37.80 as well, which could provide some resistance on Pfizer. It is up 3%. You just saw the market roll a little bit here to the downside, and I don't wonder if it's just the same story. You sell this news, which is it's a positive update. It's not, you can't spin it as negative. But ultimately, we've seen these sell off before. I would have a relatively tight stop to that 37.50, and this time I definitely want some buying into it because there was a hard bottom at 36 and some serious buying down there in the afternoon that I was watching. So it feels like there's a buyer about $1 away from this price. So if they step up, it limits your potential profits on any short.
Yeah, Pfizer's too boring for this guy. Let's go to the next one.
All right, guys, we'll jump over to the next one on the list here. If you're joining us for the first time, guys, pick up the watch list. It's absolutely free to you. All you have to do is enter your email address. We send it out to you before we come on at 9 o'clock. The next one, I mentioned Morgan Stanley was very busy this morning. DraftKings also on their list, catching a Morgan Stanley upgrade this morning. They raised their price target to 39. I mean, it's obviously above that, but from 37 to 39. Talking about different catalysts as far as sporting events coming up in the near future. There was also multiple other analysts recently over the past days and weeks that have also kind of jumped on this bandwagon for DraftKings.
Yeah, we jumped on this bandwagon pretty hard at $35. So thank you, analysts, for now getting on board with it at 47. We definitely like you when you do that. 46.50 held yesterday in the afternoon, a little bit off this nice little ramp up here. You guys know we were long DraftKings as we closed the show, and that was absolutely fantastic. So I think it was the 45 break or so that we had. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yesterday we were watching DraftKings, and you guys were like, oh, man, this is stuck at 45, remember? So that was right here. This is when we punched long, going long through 45. Yeah, just at the end of the show, right? 11:30 to 12. And then you saw the pin action on that one. Guys, long 45 we were on DraftKings yesterday as we closed the show. It goes up to 46.50 and then stops around 46.50. And then today, of course, everybody joining the Sean Katina Investment Club and putting some buys on it. So now we're up again to 47.75. So I would say just look for this hold. It hasn't been a great trade in the middle of the day. We did get that big break yesterday, which was absolutely fantastic. Thank you for that one. And we'll try to wait for the same thing today. But look at the market, man. The market's coming down here. We have the ES also coming down. So you got to definitely watch out for this DraftKings move. Let's just check out the ES quickly here before we go, just to see what it is down. It's about to go red, most likely now anyways. So the ES is about to turn red. So you got to watch out for DraftKings. I think if we can pick it up around this 46 level where it held yesterday, that should be good. That's actually 45.84. So my first buy probably won't be until this area here, 46.20 or so. Would love to take out the top, but just with this action, I'm not sure. So we'll put a buy, 47.75 if it takes it out. And then if we do dip down, let's look to buy it at 46.
Yeah, no difference for me. 46 to 46.40 was the area that I had for a dip buy in DraftKings, so I'm on board with that.
Okay, let's continue along here, guys. We had Target as well on the list this morning after an earnings report that was a surprise in some ways. I mean, there were a couple of numbers that did come out a little bit better than expected for Target. The 155% comparable digital sales, that was a huge increase over the previous year. A lot of people staying at home, obviously shopping online more. Target's net earnings 1.01 billion. From 714 million a year ago. So better than expected report across the board as far as TGT is concerned.
Yeah, Target crushing here. Still up 2% despite the fact it's come off. I could show you the daily, but 167, 42, I believe, was the previous top here. We did break in the pre-market and we're trying to hold above it. Now we're just sort of teetering below that price. Now the key look here is if I want to be bullish on Target, I'd like to be long through that 167.40 price if we do take it out. First things first, I wanted to hold some of these levels, this 165, maybe even this 166. I'd give it a shot through one if it broke. If it broke the other one, I'd also be looking for a dip buy there. But I much prefer, holding this level in the morning, breaking 167.40 once again, and then working towards the upside. Probably takes them out in front of the pre-market highs and see if it can go below 165. All bets are off. Although I feel like today, if I'm shorting in one of the big retail names, it's likely to be Lowe's, which is next on our list, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to be shorting Lowe's for sure. Yeah, I don't even see Target on here. I do see Alibaba downside there. Yeah, I don't see Target, so I don't think it's going to be a big one off the open. But I do like that 168. Look, online doing great. We saw Walmart the other day, and now Target. Come on, that's DraftKings. Target right here. This 168 looks pretty spicy to me, man. I really like that high. If we get in here, obviously down to 163 would be great. That's yesterday's close. Comes in today. It's 610,000. The volume's really great for Target. Look at the upside that this stock has had. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. I actually remember this day when they beat down here, and it just monster move up to 128. This was almost 20%. It was 20% that day. So we could get it today. I don't think we go up 20%. That would be ridiculous. But it does have some excitement behind it. It's topped out before, guys, at about this level, 168. So we revisit that. Dips down to 155. What a great opportunity. That was right here at our 50 period. I always pound the table on these 50 period moving averages. It goes right back down. Now we're going to break 168. So let's go long 168. It's a no-brainer.
All right, guys, I see our friend Arun patiently waiting to my left. So let's take a pause here. We'll have a look at the overall market. We'll come back and talk about Lowe's, another one. That was a surprise disappointment for Lowe's on the earnings front. But let's bring Arun in here. We'll have a look at the futures heading downside here, Arun.
Yeah, after that brief break of that range from yesterday, that 95 break, we went 10 points, and now we've re-entered that range right again. So here we are expecting a range day, 35 on the top end, 36.35 is the top end that we've been working. That was the top end of the range that we never broke. That's still in play. And now 35.85, that was yesterday's low and an overnight low from today. So that's in play now as well. So how do you range play this? You're going to have to look at levels and risk ratios. Okay, 36.05 going down to 35.85. I'm going to look for some longs. And then 36.20 going up to 36.35. I'm going to look for some shorts. There really is no runaway trade in this market right now. So you got to range trade it, watch your risk ratios, find the right levels to work with. Those are the levels I'm going to be looking at, and then play the edges. That's all you can really do in a market that doesn't really want to go in any direction. So unfortunately, here we are range trading this market once again.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in tomorrow morning as we head towards the open here, guys. Let's jump down to Lowe's, the next one on the list. Lowe's reporting a little bit of a surprise miss here as far as earnings are concerned. It was a per share number that missed estimates. Same store sales also a little bit lower, but revenue did top. So Lowe's to the downside this morning, guys.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Lowe's when it came to Home Depot and their earnings. They made that purchase of Home Depot Supply, HDS, which was a former subsidiary of theirs. Lowe's been trying to eat into some of that. Some of their business when it comes to when it comes to the at home and sort of the professional services. And Lowe's was already rounding off the top here and heading into a bit of a downward turn. You do see it below the 50 period. You see it sort of hold higher lows and was already there's a pun there. And then rolling over at 160 looked like it was already about to happen. And that's all that leads me to be a bit negative on them today. So, they're already down 6.5%. It is holding steady. And a lot of times that would be, hey, let's go gap retracement. But with the market starting to come back in, I want to play the south side of Lowe's today. And I think, I was looking at this 152 area. This is from, pre-market high 151.20, but I was looking at 152 on a higher time frame. And then from there, if I see 156.50 on any kind of a retrace, on any kind of a pushback, I'd rather be selling into strength than trying to catch the long here on low. So first things first, I want to short and using a 152 as an out. And then if it breaks that, I'm still going to be looking at 156.50 to be a seller up here on lows. That's just the bias there. I'd rather be going long if I can, target short if I can lows.
Yep. Yeah, it's at 149 right now, so we just did break that 150 level. That's generally a pretty key level, and yeah, we're to the downside, down 6.5%. Neil just talked about Walmart there and Target and Home Depot and everybody coming through on the retail side except for Lowe's. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I already wrote down a 149 break, but we did break that. We went to 148.52 here. This is a 3-minute chart, so we're a little off now. We don't see any numbers here for Lowe's. It's down 6%. It hasn't been down here for a while. This is why I like this. It's breaking the other way. So we have the 50-period moving average here. It's now well below. This is actually quite a bit below here. 165 is the level. It topped out at 180. What an amazing run Lowe's has been on, guys. So now it gives back on. Look, their online missed, and that's not good when they don't have as much sales online as maybe people thought. So this is a big level here, 147. We've already broken through this 151. I will be going short on this one off the open. Let's just wait to see where we get it. I would love to get this at 149, but it's breaking right now through 149. So with only 4 minutes to go, it looks like we'll have to pay down a little bit more than this. The bottom's 147.20. This is a 3-minute chart. We have more names to get to, but we'll do some more work at this. But the bottom here, 148.50. So it looks like we're gonna have to take that, but hey, I don't want to take it in the pre-market.
All right, guys, let's go to Carnival real quick. We had that headline I showed you right at the beginning of the show there at 9 o'clock. We were talking about Carnival canceling right through to the end of January any cruises that were scheduled from U.S. ports. So no cruising coming from the U.S. until at least February of 2021. There was also a large offering announced this morning for CCL. So if you go back to last Monday, this group, when Pfizer announced their initial data on their vaccine, this group was among the leaders to the upside along with the airlines. Today, not so much for CCL.
Yeah, Carnival Cruise Lines today. I was just messaging you guys actually privately about some stuff. Okay, CCL down here. We're actually talking about our 8:30 show. Why don't we talk about that right now? We're going to be coming up to 8:30 soon, guys. November 30th, so not next Monday, the Monday after. We're starting at 8:30. I think that'll be pretty cool because then instead of us just going over some levels, we'll give a little bit more in-depth of what we thought, maybe some earlier trading on some of these positions that I see Brendan and Neil has already. So I think that'll be really cool for 8:30. So join us on November 30th, 8:30, November 30th. CCL, yeah, look, that offering is going to hit them a little bit here. With all this new vaccine news, though, I really love CCL to the long-term prospects here, but as a day trade, I don't know. I mean, what a big rip this had yesterday off the open on some of that news. Again, while the Dow, remember, it doesn't follow the market because it acts in its own ways. As more and more positive news comes out about the virus and COVID numbers and whatnot, then CCL will trade completely differently than the market. So you can't really follow the ES when we're looking at CCL. But there is a nice little bottom here, 1750. It's been looking pretty good. Look at the day chart here, and you'll see right now, 1750. It's just bounced off there a bunch of times. This is what I mean. Look how volatile this is. We got to get above 20 again before we're going to stamp a buy on this thing. But right now, 1750, I like it. And before I throw it to Neil, just quickly the balance locator here. See, I don't see it. This is what's really strange to me today about this imbalance locator, which is why I don't know what the day is going to bring. Like, why is NEO not on here? Like NEO's not on here. CCL with 6.3 million shares, not on here. The big and the baddest stock of the market, though, Palantir's on here, and you know what happens when we see Palantir on there. Superman, let's go.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that NEO isn't going to be on there. I want to jump quickly to Socket. You guys, it should be next on the it is next on the watch list there. But their Socket Scan card reader gets Google Wallet approval there. I already have a position in that and a couple of other ones here, but it's made some gaps to the upside that have had heavy retracements. I don't think it'll be necessarily anything different, but if you do jailbreak this current high of 335, I'm probably not touching it until we get closer to 425. I did put a bit of a short position on, a little easier to show you on the 1-minute chart. It was consolidating lower off that high. I waited to add till it broke 3 even because that had a bit of a double bottom. There was some buyers in there that I wanted to make sure broke before I added into the position, and then I'll work it down towards this 265 bottom. If it breaks that, 250 probably the target, but Socket's been relatively strong when it's had news like this before, so I am cognizant of that fact. And if we do get some targets down to 280, I'll likely take some off. Move my stop closer to 315.
Great stuff. Yeah, it was the Apple Pay was the last time on that Socket. Same exact product. It just got Apple Pay the last time. MFGP, another one. Micro Focus. This is a UK-based software company. They reported earnings, and their forecast was actually much better than expected. So popping up here about 30% for MFGP. 490, if you go to the daily chart here, it's actually about 475 up to 490. Oh, no, that's not it. It was down here. It's this little consolidation on the daily chart I'm looking at, kind of 475 to 490. It needs to hold basically below this 5. Very, very thin, though, so be careful with this one on MFGP. Guys.
And we're running up against it here, about 20 seconds to go to the open. I do have socket. I have MFGP as well, but we're watching Boeing. It's starting to round down towards that 223. If it can hold that, I do somewhat like that level. But it is time to drop that countdown on you guys because it is Hump Day Wednesday, and this market is about to open. If Boeing holds 223, I like it to the long side, but it's about to break any second now. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get this market. Nice vertical leap, and you know what? It's actually on NBA draft day. I thought it was tomorrow, but I guess it is today. So I guess Valeria wants to get drafted by, not the Raptors because they have no pick. There goes 223 on Boeing. So initial look was going to be a hold of this 22.23, and I wanted to take a long off. It doesn't happen. Now I'm looking to short and fade off of that level. I wouldn't give it past the high of the day, guys. Lows just gave me a bit of an entry on a bit of a pullback. So short and lows as well.
Okay, yeah, short and low. Yeah, short and low is good. Good look. I was just looking to see myself what's going on here. GE, we just picked up some 93s down there, so good to see it come up to 96. We'll see. There it is, a quick little 3-cent winner. So quick belly dance there, but we're waiting for a 10.01 to break here on GE. So we're gonna wait to see if that does happen. 10.01 to break on GE. If that does happen, we will take that break. GE 10.01, PLTR as well coming through to the downside right now. So Palantir does not take out this top of 1835.
Oh, goodness, you've got to be kidding me, Boeing. So I tried to get a pullback trade. It's not even going anywhere near the upside. It's holding this pre-market low here at 219, at least for the time being. I'm looking to see if it pulls back anywhere close to 223. If that's the case, I'm definitely going to take some shares short off of that level. Lows looks like it is trying to reverse at 152, but if it goes much higher than that level, I did get my other re-entry there, and there it is. Already going to have a bit of a spicy meatball as we take the first hit on lows. I said if it broke that level, I'm looking for 156.50 to get back in again, but I'm not going away from my screen on Boeing. I don't want to try to miss this retracement if it comes back up.
Okay, yeah, good. So we're back into GE there. We also punched short NEO. We punched that in the face right now. A nice little short on NEO. Let's go, baby. We are short 45 right now, so a nice little win. Bang! We start that off right, guys. Unplug those electric cars. Big time trade here on NEO to the sell side. Yes, sir. A nice little 50-cent win right here on NEO. Short 50 cents, 70 cents now in the money on NEO. We go short 45. Let's go, guys.
Got into Boeing, and going to update some of these other positions here. I didn't talk about EGY. I'm just going to quickly go over this one. It's looking pretty nice. It rolled over. This is on the watch list as well. Valco, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, apologies. Starting to roll to the downside. Now, $1 exactly is the previous close. That's the area that I'm targeting, pie in the sky. But I will start taking some more profit off at 120. You can see short at a 135 area.
Guys, this has just been a monster day. What's up, Bren?
Sean, you mentioned this SPR, Spirit Aerosystems. Yeah, big sell there right off the bat. 36 all the way down to 34, right back to where it was yesterday for Spirit, guys.
We just continue to rock this market, guys. Long 93s, out some 94s, out some 95s. NEO, big time trade again, guys. Superman, and hit this one, guys, again today. We're almost out of it right now. Bang, another one. Taking NEO to the woodshed right now. It's getting hit, guys. Down 4%. We're almost out of this trade. What a big trade that was for us here on NEO. We're still waiting for lows to get in. And there it is. DraftKings long now through the high. Let's go.
Yeah, I wanted to hit the airplane one for you, but apologies there. Although falling in the hole, but it's Boeing that's falling in the hole. 223 does break. I missed the break. I do get the pullback. I was glued to this level too to make sure I could catch it for you guys. First entry at 21.20. Another one here at 22 even. I have already taken some out at 220 even, so you catch a couple of bucks here. Now we're starting to roll a little bit deeper. Woo! Talked about this news being baked in because everyone knew it was coming last week. That's why you see a little bit of sell action. I'm still bullish above 223, but the pullback is on in Boeing.
And guys, close your eyes because there it is again. More wins for you. DraftKings through the top. Look at this best out, guys. 48.02. Taking that out at the top. We're almost flat now on that one. The only thing here is GE, we'll still be up on it, but it could break this 90. If it does, we're going to get out. It doesn't look like 10.01 came for us. We were waiting for that. Remember, we did see that big, huge seller at 10. We can see if it's still there or not, but where is it? Yeah, it's still there. So there's still a big seller at 10. So it's got to get through that, which is most likely why we're fading to the downside right now. There it is. We're out of GE. So hands washed to that one. Good trade for GE. NEO, though, guys, big trade on that one. My biggest one of the day.
I'm going to kick myself for this. I was glued to Boeing. I told you guys 156.50, off by $1 in lows. It turns at 155.5. I did take the initial short off of this pre-market, what I thought would be a failed break. It really wasn't. I mean, it does come back in, and if I hold it, sure, it would be okay, but that's not how you play the game here. Did miss that trade, but Boeing now in the money. Almost $4. I'll look for about $5, and I want to play some pullbacks on that as well. Brendan, what's up?
Big mover yesterday, DNK. If you remember, guys, we had that move up to, I think it was about 280 on this DNK. Another pop there through that pre-market high early on, 330, 340, all the way up to 4.5 now, 75% for DNK this morning.
All right, we're going to go long again if we can get it. Okay, there's NEO break. Now we go long on NEO off that break. 45.22 now to the long side. So we rip this short, then we rip this long right now. Right back to VWAP. I think this is a good opportunity. Oh, okay, it's still ripping. We're long right now again. 45.22 on this name. So let's see how high it wants to go. It's right at VWAP. I think this is a good opportunity. 45.78 if we can get it. Hey, let's just take $1 short on NEO. And then what about 50 cents long? Bang it out again, guys. Big time trading happening as the cash cows are back in the building.
Yeah, I'm going to go back over to Socket. I didn't tell you guys about this one just before the open on the watch list. It's starting to continue its rollover. This $3 where I added, that was the key price. I talked about $265. I will take profit off in front of it. Boeing about $4.5. I want to see what happens at $217. If it bounces off $217 in Boeing, I am looking to exit this trade on a trail just to make sure we lock in some profits. But it looks like this one could go. $210 obviously was yesterday's close. If it comes all the way down there, I would definitely be flat. But a test here at $217. Brendan, what's up?
Another earnings name, PaySign, business support services, online company, reported aftermarket. You can see big flush down through 5 there. We're even lower than that. $4 broke at the open there on a massive volume spike. So trying to hold 4 though for Pays, guys.
Pays as you go right there. We'll wait to see here. This breaks 47. We're out. There we go. Out of DraftKings. Still a pretty profitable trade there. So we'll blow up some money there. I told you guys, it basically just works in the morning on DraftKings, right? If you can get some of this action, you do it. We hold our last 10% and get out there for a 25-cent hit. So multiple wins up to the top side and then a little bit of an out there to get out at the end of that trade. So that's why you get out. And sometimes you go perfect on your outs. Obviously, it would have been better up here at 48, but we talk about this all the time. You're not going to hit home runs on every trade. So when this happens, man, you get out. And so we get out right there at 47.50, and we don't have to worry about this kind of a drop. So good trade right there. I'm pretty happy with it.
Another flush down in that EGY, but a bit of a buyer stepping up here. I'm going to take some profit off at this 127 as well. But like I said, you get these levels to the downside and you find these big buyers. Sometimes it's a good idea to either step in front or, as I did, add to my take profits. And I wasn't sitting on the bid till 25, 26. I see a buyer at 27. I'll go ahead and do that. We're short. I'm short this name on EGY at 138. So it's already giving you close to that 10% return. No reason not to take some more profit on it. I see Boeing here, and I was looking to see if I could get back in to a bit of a short, and it just barely ticked up here to this 221 for a potential re-entry point. I did miss it. I wanted to catch it on the way back down. It looks like the slide is still ongoing in Boeing. This time at 217, I will take it off. I did anticipate being able to get some more shares here. Unfortunately, unable to add to that short.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great trade, great slide there in Boeing. Here's Hertz just looking at this. You may see it come in. I just got some 13 short, but got a little bit at 12. But looks like we'll punch out for a loser on this one. Boeing still moving here. Tesla back to 450 as well, guys. So there is some movement there on Tesla. So if you were looking at that trade, that's something that could move for us as well. TSLA, sorry about that. Let's get it over to that. 450. So there's the bump up to 450. I was looking at this high, 453. So if we take that out, I think we can go. But I'm just a little nervous here. The ES is back to positive right now. It did, I think, crack. Yeah, it did crack negative. Let's check out the NASDAQ quickly. That is negative. So a little bit of negative action here in some of these markets today, guys.
This other name here, MFPG, and I apologize for this dark pool wick that's making my scaling look ridiculous. But this, if it breaks this 485, I think it's going to make a run and a test at 5 even. So just watch out for that. I'm holding off into adding into this position until I get some kind of a hard rejection somewhere. It's trying to do that here at 85, and I think if it teeters back below this 475, this is where I can probably add in this particular name. There goes Boeing again. I should have been able to get more shares. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, guys. So we'll just take it off here in front of 217. It'll be about $4.50 worth of a win there. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Big mover recently, this Jumia just popping back up. JMIA, German-based e-commerce company, back to the upside 10% today. There was a couple of analysts with positive notes on this one. Just broke $19, guys.
Lumaya, okay. All right, yeah, that was another one that we've looked at a couple times. There goes Target. Tell me I got long. How did I not get long there on Target? Where is my order? I don't know.
No.
Why we didn't get long there.
My
Target
goodness.
breaks through 168. I thought I had a bid to go through there, and I do not. So 167 and change. Did it go? It did. So we're going to have to look at that again. Thank God we didn't get it. Obviously, it's back down, but I do like this Target 168 look right here.
I even missed, I wanted 164.40. I wanted it to hold the bottom, and then I wanted it to break 164.40, that previous top. It did. I didn't get in. So I'll see if it pulls back into that range, and maybe I can defend it in front of VWAP. So anything from 40 to probably 65 or so is worthy of an entry. And there we go. Finally got a fill. So I'll catch it on the way back. Obviously, it's a heck of a lot better if you get the breakout, but there was so much going on there, and I want to make sure you guys see. I am now out of Boeing, and again, it's one of those things where I should have had some shares out here at 217 for the $5, then got back in. I wasn't able to do so. I'm now looking for a bounce off of 210 if I can get it. We'll see if it goes that far down. Otherwise, if it holds 215, that's another way to get long. Brennan.
I was a little late to get going here, guys, but UAL, United, one of the first to come out after the Boeing news this morning saying they're going to use the plane first quarter of next year, just popped through that pre-market high there on a big-time volume spike. So through the 42 now, up about 3.5% for UAL.
Okay, yeah, good trade there, United Airlines, as Boeing in the news right now, so we know why that is. Good little news for anybody holding Boeing stock. Okay, we are back into Target right here, so not back in, we're in it for the first time right now into Target, so let's wait to see what it wants to do here to the high side. We are long 168.10, so that's going to be hopefully a good trade for us coming through, but right now, doesn't look like it temporarily. We'll wait on Target now, going to the upside. Good long for us there. Other than that, man, nothing really else on now. DraftKings was a big win for us. We're out of that. Neo was a monster for me. This was huge, guys. Basically the perfect bottom there, 44.34. So yeah, really happy as the way trading is going today. It's been pretty good. The only other name I'm looking at right now is GE to take out this top again, 93. Actually, maybe we can get a little more aggressive. I do like GE to the long side. Maybe a 90 break, guys?
Yeah, I'm completely powerless to pronounce these names if I haven't heard Brendan say it. So if it's Valco or Valco, whatever you want to call this one, EGY continues its push downside. It's still right at this 217 mark. I know that buyer is gone, but believe me, the just bid keeps stepping up here. It's that quarter that I'll take profit off in front of. Now, I've held off on taking anything more off. In covering any more of this position, so I still have like 70% of it, and I am looking to see if it goes back down to about $1, where I would expect a bounce to happen on EGY. So that is working out. Socket as well looks like a good one, so I'm gonna do some fireworks for Socket because I don't have anything closer. I want like something like electrocution or something like that. It did bounce back to the upside, but it held rather nicely at that $3 range. And I think that's the failure you're looking for. It happened way too fast to get a re-entry. You're seeing it start to crater. I should probably take some shares off if I can get some here. So just crater to the downside. So 77s I'll take. That's like a 25 cent return. I'll take some more off in front of 275. After that, 250 would be a nice level. Let's see if we can't get it down to there.
As we take a sip of coffee right now. Okay, Target, 166.50. We're just going to give it back down to here, just a little bit less than this VWAP, but there is nice little opportunity maybe to buy some back. So I think we'll do that, buy some right now, about 167 just to average in, and it's not something that we normally do, but on this kind of a play, I do like it. So I think that's a possibility. And then here we go, guys. GE is getting ready to get spicy once again. So we're going to take a break, 992 right here where VWAP is. We're going to go long on GE. I think I like this stock here today on the Boeing news and on the market, making all-time highs there yesterday on the close. So we're going to wait to see, or 2 days ago, we're going to wait to see there what GE wants to do. I think it can get going. The bottom downside, though, 985. If I do get long, we got to get out if it breaks back 985.
Yeah, I'm watching NIO here, and somehow I managed to get the price I wanted on Target, which is 167.40. That's fluke. I wanted it on a break up, actually caught it on the way back in. But I'm watching NEO here. It did make a bottom 44.20. Now I want to see it put in a higher low. Ideally, it would be holding this 45.30 level from the pre-market. In the event that doesn't happen, I did like 44.50 and I had that written down. So if it wants to base out at 44.50, that will be okay because that's also a higher low. But for now, looking to see if NIO NEO can make a bit of a bottom hold here off of that initial sell-off. It was interesting that it wasn't on the bounce locator, but there was activity nonetheless. And I want to see if I can pick some up off the bottom.
Okay, there's some Nikola news here with GM, so we can find out what they're wanting to do here, as apparently Nikola now on watch here. So we're going to go long here, Nikola, if we can get it. There it is. We're long at 40s right now and ripping to the high side. So Nikola comes out, rips all the way upside. Then we take the long down here, 23.40. So let's see how high it wants to get upside. It was 24 before. Put an order there and see if we get out. But right now, Nikola looks like it's going to be a swish action on this one, guys.
I should be long DNK. So I was saying this yesterday, how strong this one looked, and I think I threw it in the chat there that I was going to stay away from shorting this one until it made a move to the upside. I was looking at a few levels up here, and one of them was going to be, if it ever gets back to like the 6 to 615 area, I do like that for a bit of a short, but DNK going parabolic, now up 100%. The turn for me, hopefully $1 from here. 615 stands out.
And guys, there's a banger right there. We hit the chicken dinner winner for you because that's another 50-cent winner right away. 23.40. We take the long. We get out at 24. So now we're ripping to the high side now. Nikola, let's go, baby. Big time win on that one as well. So target, we averaged in twice. Bang, bang. And look where we just took some out there. 75. So our average price now, 167.70. Small cut on that one, but then averaged in, doubled up the position down here. So we're still going to use 166. If that drops, we get out of that one. But look at the NASDAQ coming back down with the ES as well. So still more to come on that one. Nikola, big win though. What's up, Beef?
Yeah, there's nothing confirmed on that, just rumors so far. It looks like GM has unveiled, or reportedly has unveiled, some sort of technology they will use in the Nikola vehicles. So still to come, more to come possibly on that GM Nikola story. So yeah, definitely on the watch. But DNK here, another one, guys, another volume spike. It tagged $5 there and turned on a dime. Back to the downside now, 95% for DNK.
Yeah, so far no hold on NIO here, just 44.50, that 44.50 area being tested as we speak. It just had a bit of a bid show up, and it's hard to see on the level too because it wasn't a size buyer, but it was more like it just tanked down like 10, 20 or 30 cents into that 50 range and then just, marketed up 15 pennies. And when I see that was someone waiting to get their price and just shoving some shares. So I like buying off those. You hear me say that every now and then. It's sort of still buying on the way down without consolidation, but it's not a bad little setup there. So I'll give it to this low, and if Neo breaks that, it's probably looking like another sell day. Target has a 15-cent spread, but it's still basically flat off of that previous high of 167.42. So hang on to that one. I think I have about the same stop area, Sean. It's like 166.50 that stands out to me.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, though, we're doing well on everything, man. This is coming back to the high side right now. We go into the money on that trade. So target, nice little trade there for sure, as we do go into the money on that. So that's a good one. We're just going to watch it more to the upside. Hopefully, we're long at 167.70. Okay, and here goes Nikola, still right back to the backside. So nice little trade there for Nikola for me too as well. Let's just see what it does. I think we could break 24. If we don't, I'm going to get out on a 23 break, though, guys. Not going to hold on to this one.
Brendan, what's up, bud?
We were talking about this one a couple of days back, guys. Westwater Resources, 8+% again today. One of those renewable energy companies popping back up here. I noticed it was active in the pre-market. There's no real headlines surrounding it, but coming up to pre-market highs here. 540 on volume for WWR.
And got another bounce here in NIO, so build this position. My average price is going to see 44.77. Now, if we just did break back above 45, I will definitely take some profit off in front of VWAP here. So, call it the quarter and then call it that 50. So, Neo bounce looks like it's a good one. Just got some shares out, so we'll give a bit of a cheer. Haven't hit that one in a while. Going old school with some of these here. Hope you guys heard that because I don't hear it here. But the next out will be in front of 45.50. Quick 50-cent win on Neo, looking for 75. And if it breaks VWAP, I'd like to hold some of this position for a test of the opening range top. We know what happens when Neo gets going. Post earnings, it sold off. If it holds this low, wowzers, could go parabolic.
Parabolic, yeah, drink. I think that's the drink word there. Parabolic, Neil's drink word.
Is it?
It's changed, yeah, I think it's parabolic now. So, okay, Neo, yeah, good move there. We'll watch that. This is Target. We just took some out again at 75, so our average price now down to 57. We're flat on the stock, but yeah, it does need to go, or else that will be a loser at some point for us. I don't know if it will or not, but I think 168 is a good one. Nikola right now breaking through 24, so there it is. You want it. Let's go. Bang on Nikola, guys. A big trade there. More than $1 now in the money. We go long at 23.40. It goes all the way up to 24.40, taking that rate in front of you guys. What up, Eve?
Yeah, some of these other EV names starting to pop up here with Nikola on that news as well. So not involving this one, but Lordstown, you remember, ride through 27 there on a volume spike, new day highs as well. So 13% for ride, about the third day in a row for this one, guys.
I remember Lordstown, and why not have a quick look at Lordstown? I mean, if we load there, thank you very much. 28 level, bit of size when I initially flipped to it, but it's not a heck of a lot. It is a potential breakout through there, just worth noting. You're running into some fresh highs, and if it comes back to 27, you probably like that a little bit better. Now, I'm not going to short in front of this name. I'm still looking over at DNK to see where the turn is going to be there. I know it was $8, but sorry. I know it turned at $5, but it was $6.15 that stood out like a sore thumb. So I'm trying to hold off on shorting that. And I'm not going to be shorting in Ride, even though I see a little bit of size at that 28. So if you were long and looking to take some profit or thinking a dip buy, if it runs away from that level, might give you a pullback and then a future break on that. It looks like good thing I took some profit on NEO because it's starting to come back down. I've moved my stop. So that buyer that was there is now there for size at 44.50. So it wasn't size before. Now there is a bit of a bid that looks like, I don't know if it's even real because it might have just disappeared. I'm not going to give it to the bottom. If it breaks that, I'll just take it off for the quick little hit. Looks like we did get the fill. So I didn't see it trade below that price. I might have got a bad wick. And you know what that means? I got to find a way to get back in.
All right, GE, we just did take a little bit of a position there. So Nikola still $1 in the money, and GE now flat for us, obviously. We're long at 92. The problem is when you use stop orders and things break, you just take the trade. So 92, we're lucky to get long 92. We could have easily had 93s, but we did put on a big stick right now. I've been talking about this one. So if this goes up, man, this will be our day right here. So nice little trade on GE, hopefully making moves now to 93, 94. We'll see if we get some out 94 and then wait for $10. What's up, Pete?
So we're talking about that DNK, which is Phoenix Tree Holding. There's a company that's called Tiger Global Management that was one of the largest shareholders in that Phoenix Tree Holding. They announced 2 days ago, we were talking about a DNK, that they dissolved their position in DNK, and that was so they could invest in this one, guys. PDD, Pinduoduo, our friend popping up through 132 there on a volume spike, guys. So Pinduoduo back to positive, did gap down this morning, but on the move here with a volume alert, guys.
There we go.
Right, here we go. GE, guys, finally now through 95. You can imagine bang! What a big day this is going to be right now, guys. As the money keeps spinning, as GE just keeps spinning and spinning around for us. Long 92 is a big trade right here on GE. I think the biggest one. Here goes Nikola as well, guys. $1.21 now in the money on that GM news, and we're also an investor in Nikola, so thank God this is going up. Look at GE. Boom, Neil. That's a big one.
So if you get out accidentally, just jump right back in. Thankfully, got a bit of a bounce here in NIO. Now, I didn't see it trade below that 44.50, but I guess our stop order did trigger there. That's the risk of using a stop, but fortunately, I was able to get basically the same price here, so back in at like 74s. Same targets are going to be maintained, and I'll give it a little bit of room off of that bottom. So looks like the bottom hold is in on NIO. That's why, if you didn't mean to get out and you still see the same signals, just go right back into the trade. Brendan, what's up?
We were looking at Smile Direct Club yesterday off of earnings. Didn't really do much. It did go positive, but look at this move. Initial weakness was bought up in a hurry here. 4%, almost 4.5% now for SDC, guys.
Oh, man, this has just been a monster here for yours truly, guys. GE, what a big trade this was, guys and girls. Everybody just 92s up to 98, 6 cents on good shares. So that we're super, super thrilled with the way that's trading. And then Nikola right now, $1.40 now. We'll do more backflips for you as we go. A new position alert just into Palantir on this big move up. We did get out almost right away for only 2 or 3 cents. But right now, Palantir, this was such a huge move up. I didn't even notice this. We were trying to take this high out. This may be a little too juicy for me right here. What a big move up on Palantir. Futures going down. I don't know if I like this trade anymore, but we do love our GE, so we're going to keep getting out of that one as well as Nikola, guys. Palantir, though, in trouble a little bit, but not really.
Boeing is still turning around here. Well, sorry, still heading back to the downside. I shouldn't say turning around when it's already coming down. I was looking at 215 for a hold, so just updated. Has not. It's tried to bounce a couple times here, but it looks like it is going to churn through. This time, looking a little bit more weak. So if we break a 215 level, I'm still looking to go long, potentially around the 210 area in Boeing. Have been looking for some dip buy opportunities in this name. Unfortunately, just hasn't gone deep enough here. We did have that one short. I'm not looking to go short again unless we retest a 220 to 222 and turn around, I would test that short. Otherwise, one more time, and this is starting to get frustrating, I have to give Neo to the low of the day because every time it ticks below that 44.50, the buyer, it breaks and then it just holds the level. So it comes right back in. So stop orders are no good. I got to go manual on this trade because it just keep getting right back in at the same price after getting wicked out.
Come on, Palantir, I see you now. Now you want to go, okay. So we'll take a little bit more out here. Hopefully, if we get through 40, we'll get some out 44, 45, and then see what happens at 49 right here for Palantir. Look at that. We say it's going to break through 40s. We instantly get 44s. Now 45s, man. What a big day this has been. Bang for all you traders out there watching us. Palantir ripping up, Nikola ripping up, GE. We're almost out of all of our GE here. What a big trade that was at 92. Some outs there, 98s on that. Now we're breaking down to 95s, but what a big trade that has been. And then we just took Neo by accident, so we get out there on a low bid that we had. Take that in.
Oh, Neo just took the low, so I just got out and reversed into the short side trade. So Neo just took out the low, not 44 even. The pre-market bottom here, you will see the outs, and then the purple, of course, indicates a short sale. So Neo, I got 44.15s on the short. I wanted to add at 44, unable to do that, but now it looks like it's a negative trade, a sell trade. In on IO was trying to do this pullback long. You can see the tighter stops there. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Blink charging, guys, all-time highs here this morning, 7% again through $15 now for Blink. It was above that. I was going to check that wick there. It was 1460, I guess. So above 1460, all-time highs for Blink charging. We mentioned yesterday some higher options volume coming through on this one, guys.
I cannot be happier with Palantir again, guys. We just got 59s. The money just keeps on coming around here, guys. Roller coaster day? Not really. The only negative stock we have is Target, and we did take some off, thank God, but then it does break the bottom, and we get out. So again, today we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 for 7 today, guys. And we still have the bangers on for you, including GE. You want to talk about a winner? Look at this one, slaying dragons. Literally 992 long out here, guys. 98s. We got still some on board. 99s. What a great trade this was. GE in the mouth of a market tanking. We take GE long. This is what happens when you believe in your trades. You put on shares. When the pins are there, you line them up. Neil's not much of a bowler, but we both are. Brendan, I think, is a bowler. Neil's a bowler too.
No,
I'm not. Go bowling, guys. Let's go.
Unless
bowling.
you want to put those bad boys on the side of the lane, so I don't shoot the gutter balls. Like I'm no Mookie Betts, who is a great bowler. Brendan's probably good at everything, so I'm just going to assume he is a good bowler as well. I'm okay at 5-pin. Neo is okay. I'm going to go with disco ball action for NIO, and I think thankfully I wasn't too stubborn with this. It certainly could have been true. I kept getting wicked out, and that buyer might have tricked me into getting into some longs here, but thankfully a bit of a tight stop. I just saw some support at 75, so took a third out. Probably a mistake on NIO because it looks like it's headed southbound in a hurry one more time. To put a bit of a perspective on it, we did say if it broke these levels, and if 43 goes, I'll take some off in front of 43 even because the dollar's a dollar. It is what it is. But from there, double bottom, 40.70 to 41. Obviously, if it gets there, I think there might be a little bit of support on in Neo. Look, it was good earnings, and we saw this sell off last couple of days. It turns out that 49.50 was a bit of a top, just never gave us the shot to short off of that.
Man, we are just like laughing right now as GE just looking at $10 in the face. So we'll see if it breaks it. We are out right there. So that's another win for us on GE. The money just keeps on falling down. We will take another long though if it breaks through 10. We'll go 10.01. This time a little bit lighter on our shares here on a 10.01 break. We were already long 992. We did get too many out, of course, at 96, 97, but I don't know it's going to go up to 99. That would have been a monster win for us there as we're using big time shares here. So really happy with the way the market's trading today. And yeah, all else is good, man. Nikola still, like I said, we're 6 for 7 today. It is what it is. You can check, man. Most of my trades are 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, multiple outs, including this Nikola still going to the high side. We're going to find out very soon if I'm going to get out of this trade. I'm looking at 24.20. I'm not going to lose $1. I'm not going to let $1 go through this one. Let's get out at 25 if it comes through, though. Big time trading happening, guys. Palantir still 20 cents now in the money. And I was nervous about this one. Shouldn't be nervous, guys. What up, Beep?
Another one set to benefit possibly from a vaccine and things getting back to normal. Party City, wow. 19.5%, straight higher from the word go this morning. $4 down here, up to almost $5 at the top there for Party City, guys.
I want to go back to some of these other positions. I know you'll see some of these shorts that get put on, and I talked about MFGP, and Brennan was going over this name as well. I waited for it to roll over at the open here off of 485. As I mentioned to you guys right off the bat, it broke 475, so I did add to this position. I took some out again around 70. I'm now trying to get out around this 460 to 465 for a few more shares. I only have a couple of target exits here at 460. If it breaks that bottom at 460, I'll use the momentum to get me out of the rest of this position. NIO is bouncing back towards the upside. Thank you, Valeria, for the refill on the coffee. Gonna need it today. Obviously, a lot of action here. Neil starting to push back to the upside. I thought maybe we'd get some out at 43 even or in front of 43 even. If it breaks back above like this 44, teen area, I'll just get out of this trade and look for another entry point. Oh, sorry, actually my stop was at 44 even, not 44.15. I'm looking for another re-entry point, but see where that buyer was at 44.50? 44.50 to 60. I feel like if it goes back up there, there could be a retracement short in NIO. I'm now going to be bearish on the stock after this break to the downside. I'm just looking for a re-entry point here to go short again.
Okay, we're long. We just went long. So we went long, Neo, so we're thinking the opposite here, which is fine. I've been crushing Neo. It's my largest stock today. I know Neil just had a good trade on it as well. But here we go, guys. We're in the money again. Another 20 cents here on Neo long through 44. So we'll wait to see what this wants to do. There it is, another 20 cents on this stock. But yeah, it's been weak today, guys, down 5 and a bit %. So we may want to take this one off. But here it goes, ripping to the high side. Your boy's got another one on Neo. So back flips there for this one. Let's take that off right here if we can. Boom, another 20-cent win for you. So we're throwing the money around here, guys, and hitting those bangers for you. It's been a very, very nice day, needless to say, for us here today. 6 for 7, and just adding to that right there. Look at that out on Neo, guys. That's a 20-cent win right there at 44.25. I always play those even dollars there. Good little trade. Let's go.
Yeah, I was looking at 44.25. I mean, you get these low-end bottoms here, the opening range low. This is where I wanted to re-enter the trade. It didn't quite give me what I was looking for, but I can actually still use it as a tight stop, retrace play. I just want it in the teens ideally, so I'm risking about 15 to 20 cents and not more than that. Either way, if you miss the trade, you miss the trade. You can't fight this too hard. I do want you guys to watch out for Still watch out for Boeing here. It is starting to come back up, but it looks like it might roll over at VWAP. Now, I was waiting for 220. Obviously, you can see a downward trend. Might have to pay down to like a 219 short in front of 220. Brennan, what's up? Oh, happening now. Sorry.
Hey guys, yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Not a lot going on as far as movement at this point. Basically flat for the S&P. We're back to just 0.3% for the Dow. The NASDAQ, though, has gone negative. So tech stocks kind of leading back to the downside here. 0.5% for the NASDAQ 100, 0.4 on the composite. The Russell still holding on to nice gains, though. 0.5% to the upside for small caps so far. Here in Toronto, the TSX dead flat. BOVESPA down in Brazil, down about 0.7% so far. A few things from the watch list, guys. Grab the watch list. It's free to you. Just enter your email. Valeria will help you out if you need the link. Target here was on the watch list following earnings. We did get above that 168, straight back down, right in the middle of the range. It needs to hold 165.5. A little bit of support there around the pre-market for TGT. We'll shift over to DraftKings. Yeah, what a reversal off of 48, straight down to session lows here. 46.5 was just below that at the end of the day yesterday. So we'll see if we can find a little bit of support for DraftKings and Boeing. Yeah, big flush. Pointed out that Spirit Aerosystems had the same exact move, straight lower here. 215 for Boeing ended up being a bit of support, guys. Back over to you.
Man, like I am just like beside myself here with GE. We got out, we missed the 10 break, and it just rip cities us to the high side there. We're not in it, but congratulations to anybody in it, man. Spin that money back and forth and around and celebrate it, because that was, hopefully you guys still have that one. What a monster trade that was at 9.92. We called that, and I hope you guys had that with us at least. I'm just sad that I dropped it and we did not get 01s there long, as it ripped up to 06, almost 07 there on that move. So yeah, we called this. We liked this early, and GE paying dividends again for anybody that followed me on that one. Congratulations, backflips for you guys.
Still looking at Boeing here, of course, related name. It is trying to roll over. Brendan mentioned that 215. It did bounce off that. I was looking to long off of that initially, but I did miss that first trade. Now I'm thinking about this 220 area. You also go in the pre-market here, this like 219. So bit of a target entry that I'd want tighter to 219 if I'm going to re-enter a short position. Still, of course, watching 223. We call that off the bat. On any break to the upside, I would still be looking to fade off of 223 and then potential breakouts and Boeing off that level. I want you guys to watch out for MFPG here just because it looked like everything was going to plan on one of these retracement shorts. Then it caught a bid 460. It's now retesting towards this 485. Now, I'm no longer giving it to 5 even. If I see something like this, I'll just give it like that 10 pennies or a tighter stop here just in case it runs through the top. And 5 could be a bit of a breakout on MFPG. Last one for you guys, DNK. The turn was on. I was waiting for a bigger break. It ends up turning at $5. So for me, no actionable trade just yet on DNK.
Because I want you to tell your friends all about this show because look at this winner we have again on Palantir. Like, thank you for the love in the chat. We're giving this to you. I gave this one to you, 1835. Like, I had this against myself down here, by the way, against myself. So we took that one, bang that to the upside. There's an easy winner for you. Nicola, how about this? $2 in the money as well. So yeah, I know if you're following, congratulations. Let's blow up some money. Thank you so much for all the love here in the chat. It just keeps coming, man. Nicola, holy Palantir, you are 1000% right. Everybody loving it, Palantir. Let's go. You got that, Dan McIsaac. Deuce Parker, thank you so much for the monster trade on GE. Let's just keep on going, guys. Palantir, such a beast, man. I agree. We got to go over there and look at Tesla. What a big day this has been.
You know what? I haven't looked at Tesla either, but about to get into Boeing one more time here. Just a bit of a change. It's making a bit of a wedge trade here, and so consolidation. You've seen that tighten up. I was going to give that 219 to 220, maybe the top end of the range. When I see the wedge form, I'll go with the lower end of that for this short. Of course, it was a hard bottom at 215. That does give me an obvious target. Got to take some profit out in front of it, but this is a tight stop. If it breaks 218.50 here, I'll allow it to re-enter 19 to 20 before making another decision. So it's not as much as I would have risked before, about 70 cents or so plus slippage. But when you're limited to about $2 before you get to your first profit taking, you got to make that kind of adjustment. Brendan, what's up?
New day highs here for another one from the EV space as well. Candy Technology being dragged along with this, but volume here not bad either. A little bit high as far as relative terms are concerned, but yeah, day high there through 1140 for Candy. 1140 now for Candy now. 21%, guys.
I'm going to hit the airplane for you guys. I tried as quickly as I could to explain the adjustment on the Boeing short as it was rolling over. It immediately gives you that quick little dollar winner. And 215, it was already a bottom once. I would take the rest out here if I can again. And if it forms a tighter wedge, you're probably looking at like 217 at some point being an inflection point. And if it breaks there, you're looking at a 217 break. And it hasn't happened yet. And then you're working that into that 220 or VWAP range. 223 still a bit of a target. But I am currently short again in Boeing. Look to see what happens at 215. If it bounces off this level, I will get out. Otherwise, if it breaks through, that's a hold. And 210 is the ultimate bottom for me.
And guys, Dancing Gorilla it off right now. Look at Palantir. All-time highs breaking through 19. And there it is again. Long here, 1830, all the way to the high side. We will be tweeting this one out. Follow us on Twitter for yet again another banger on board, guys. I mean, this market and this day just keeps on getting bigger and better for us. Nicola, 26 now. This is a $3 winner. Brendan, we take that one. Pigs get slaughtered, but we only should have took more than 70 cents on this first part. Look at Nicola just exploding now to the upside. We gave you this story. I took this one again right in front of everybody. Long 23.44. You could have hit the buy key with me. Nice little win here on Nicola. Let's get out if it breaks back down through 26 and just take this $3 win. Big trade here for that Nicola. As there it goes, drops down. There we go. We get out right away. 25.43. What a great out. Now it's coming back down. Maybe news again on Nicola. What's up, Beep?
GM also, just going to mention, yeah, GM also enjoying this move as well for Nicola back to the upside. So 43.60 ended up being a bit of a top. Yeah, Nicola getting some selling there. This one, not so much. It is coming in, but not as violently. But nice look here for GM as well, up about 3.5%.
Much like last time we saw this on Socket, it was exactly the same thing. You get that nice little retracement play. I talked about this $3 level for you guys. I haven't got another entry point other than these pre-market levels, both at $3 and $3.05 here. It just bounced off at $2.75. I talked about that as a profit-taking area. So as it approaches again, I'll take a few more shares off and then try to hold through for a $2.50 ultimate target. But so far, so good on that name. Boeing is bouncing back to the upside here. So I did take some profit off. It is still rolling down. The test is going to be at 215. That's what I want to try to hold through. So Boeing, great news, obviously, but sometimes you just got to sell the news. Brendan, what's up?
Okay, so there was actually apparently a GM spokesperson just came out and said there's absolutely nothing new to report on the Nikola front. They didn't specify whether it was to do with the deal or whether it was to do with any kind of technology that they initially said this morning. But if you remember, the initial thought was GM unveiled some of the technology they were going to use in the Nikola project. They're now saying nothing new to report on the GM front, guys.
Look at what we just did, guys. We got back long at 24. Like, look at this out. I got to tweet this one out just for what we've been talking about there. Out right there. Long again on the 24 break. Out 24.17. Out 24.24 for more wins there on Nikola just to top it all off. And look at that Palantir out. We now have that small 10% that we always hold left on Palantir. So, wow, guys, 7 for 7, 8 for 9 today or so. So big time trading here for us today. Follow us all on Twitter and Palantir, another 6%. We almost have a triple, well, not almost a triple because we're long at 950, but that confirms the double right there on Palantir since our call not too long ago. And if you're just joining us for the first time here, I put a buy on Palantir down here at 950, put it in my own account at $9.56, then again at 10.10, and now we're up to 18.90. So we're making that cash on the long side of Palantir. Let's just keep on going, guys.
Just a quick look here. I saw that retracement on Nikola, and for me, it's the same pullback sideways consolidation trade. If it holds this first pullback area, I get into a short trade with a relatively tight stop. I'll allow it to break back up and maybe put in a higher low. So I like this trade. I'll put on almost every single time I see a retracement like that, but it's a tight stop. Like, I'm already out of this. You don't give it all the way back to 25, 26. Risk about 20, 30 cents because you got a shot to make like $1.25. The next move would be if it gets back up to 25.50. But I want to be fading this Nikola play. I'm going to get back over to NEO in a second, but back at that 44, this is a real choppy range happening in NEO between like 43.75 and 44.30 or so. So I'm going to stay away the middle, but if it does break out, I'll definitely be taking another shot over in NEO. It's still kind of holding this consolidation. So I am going to look for a place to get back into the Nikola because this might still actually be good.
Yeah, Nikola has been monster for us. You can see the numbers at the bottom, what kind of damage that we're doing on that stock. And yeah, look, it's not that we're, trying to go long on Nikola here. I am long in my own personal account, but it's not a huge story. It's just one that, GM could come up with some kind of a solution here and solve all of Nikola's woes. You do remember it went up to $55 when Nikola did have that report come out about GM's interest. So I think that's where it all comes from. What's up, Beep?
Yeah, another one here moving downside again today. This GDRX, good RX. Remember the Amazon story? Amazon with an online pharmacy. This one in that business. So again today, about to make a new day low here for GDRX, down 7% on big time volume.
All right. I can't, I'm trying to battle this Bitcoin here as it just keeps falling down, and I just keep getting destroyed. That's the only stock I'm really trading today. GBTC to the negative side for me today, as it's not really moving that great. We just tried another long there and got hit. We've been getting hit on GBTC today, but that's okay. Everything else making that money. So if you're trading Bitcoin, maybe trade the coin itself. NEO, still a big trade for me today off this initial short. This was my biggest one. GE was by far my biggest, but this is also another good one. Let's look to get back into NEO. 68 million shares today.
Yeah, I was just talking about a NEO a second ago, but I got to go back over to Boeing because it looks like the best out we're going to get on this new short was that dollar win. It is brushing back up to this 218.50 area, and I did say to you guys, I am taking this one off. If it breaks here, it's a relatively tight stop, and you're shorting this one obviously deeper into the move here, and it is forming a bit of a wedge, so it could break to the upside, and I want to make sure I'm not caught when it does. Yes, it's in the money now, but you got to have a plan of action in case that changes. Brendan, what's up?
A little bit choppy so far for Target, but all-time highs there just reached above that 168.5. Almost 170 coming in fairly quickly here. 3.5% now for Target, guys.
Yeah, we had that long. That was really our only loss today, was this target where we averaged in there on that 168 break that we liked, and then now you're seeing it make moves to the high side. So lost on that one. Unfortunately, we basically got the worst out we could have, and now you're pushing to the high side. Damn you, target. That's okay. Let's get out of our Palantirs. It just falls right back down. This is kind of what we're talking about. Watch out for VWAP, guys. 1830, 1840. We'll put a bid to get longer. Palantir 1840.
Yeah, and obviously it's going to happen to you. You're going to get a bit of an out there. There was a chance to get in back into target when it reclaimed VWAP and gave the same entry area. And this is what frustrates me. The same area, 167.40, is exactly where he gave you the consolidation. So you just sort of go back to the same well, maybe with a tighter stop and would have worked. But, that's one of the things to review after we're done our day today. Got to go into what is actually moving right now. And Neo, ignore this little wick here, but that breakout trade that I did put on, well, not really necessarily a breakout trade, but this sort of a pullback trade that we put on, it looked like it was going to be okay. Basically a flat trade. You can't even see the arrow in here to the upside, but I got in and out flat, and we're now putting in a higher low off of what was my last short out at 43.60. So it's going to make it. It's going to make an attempt here, and it does feel like maybe it's going to find some strength. The market's also trying to bounce as well. So I'll take my first shot. My second shot at a long in Neo. It's very similar to what we did over here. We're taking it off of the pre-market low or the opening range low. I'll do it right here again with a bit of a dip buy. And we're going to be scalping. And that's the idea. Take the 20, 30 cents when you can. Try to hold half, third, quarter, whatever you're comfortable with in case of a bigger move. But it's also time, apparently already, for Brendan with some upgrades and downgrades.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get you a few more symbols to have a look at. A couple on here we've talked about already. Tesla down there, Boeing, obviously. Spirit Aerosystems directly related to that. Also with an upgrade today, but trading lower as we saw. Sienna, Honeywell, that was actually higher to start, I saw, but going to have to double check that. I think that's still in positive territory. Not entirely sure that one got back to negative territory. But let's talk about Boeing here. 3%. Yeah, big move down through that 224 to 214. Trying to hold around that area Neil was just mentioning. Big relative volume on Boeing so far today. Sienna, yeah, downgraded twice. Not from Morgan Stanley, but downgraded 44 down to 43. Big flush down to 42. We're trying to hold 42 right now on a volume spike, in fact. Trying to get back upside for CIEN, guys.
There's good old Sienna. I talked about doing a little bit of, and we'll hit the cash one. Oh, of course, and when that's up. We'll hit the cash for any scalping we do in NIO. Talked about getting in and out for like 20, 25 cent worth wins. I wasn't able to add to my position below 44 where I did want it, so I held off. If it dips down again and we hold the bottom at 43.60, I'll try to add to this position and keep taking 20 to 25 pennies, maybe up at 50. If it continues to go, I do want to hold some of this. I want to try to be net long if it does break back to the upside and try to fill in some of this gap. So thank goodness for Neo giving us more opportunities, and Boeing, sort of giving that a negative look in case this does turn bad on me. It hasn't happened yet, but we need to break through 216. So my stop is at 218.50. I'm not going to be scalping anything off in this little range. It either breaks the bottom, makes a test at 215, and I can hold through. Or it bounces off 250 and I'll get out. So I'm still hanging on to my Boeing position here. Even if it comes back, I am willing to give some of this profit back on this current short side trade.
Okay, yeah, good job, Boeing there. Palantir, bad job for me because we got out there at 72 and it rips back to 19. So we're waiting for this trade to come back down here to 1840. Otherwise, I probably won't touch it. So we're going to watch out here for Palantir now making moves back to the upside. What a great trade that was. Unfortunately, not fortunately, but we should still have, obviously, some of our Nikola on board as that made a move all the way back to the high side. 25, we did go long 24 on that dip down. So that was obviously a monster trade for us as well. That's Nikola. Damn it, we should have held on to that one. GM, man, you fooled us. They're announcing that there is nothing going on, but there probably is. So Nikola now going back to the upside.
Yeah, and just going back over to Neo very quickly, it is pulling back in, but I did say I was going to add more shares. I'm trying to do that south of 44 even, so it is pulling back, but not quite a re-entry point for me yet there. Just to update you guys on what I'm thinking here. Going to go over to MFPG because this was one that was looking, I would say, like everything was going fine. We're rolling back to the downside. Now it's retesting this 485, and I said this earlier. I've moved my stop to 85. Forget about this high, this 5 even. If it continuously wants to bounce here and give this higher consolidation, I'm not going to stand in the way of it. I'm going to tighten up the stop and make sure that I don't turn this into a losing trade. So it does look good so far. I have made some money on it, but it doesn't look like it's nearly as weak as I was anticipating. Neo looks like it is trying to give me that second entry, so I just got some on the dip. I'll still give that to the bottom, guys.
Okay, yeah, we're still trying to trade some of this Bitcoin here, and I don't know, it's going downside, but not great. Okay, Nicola there, yeah, Bitcoin. This is GBTC. You see the fall in the stock, just downside. These are all longs. I'm finally switching over to a little bit of a short now, but Bitcoin still falling down. That DNK moving as well, Neil. What about Microsoft? We can have a quick look at that name. Microsoft.NQ here. 1212. Yuck, right now, not good for Microsoft. Brandon, what's up, bud?
Just looking at BlackBerry here in New York, guys, up 3%, 3.2%. The NSA apparently giving BlackBerry a contract for some software that they're going to use. Not terribly exciting as far as the movement, but volume coming into BlackBerry. This thing has had quite the little run for itself on the daily time frame, guys.
How dare you say not too exciting there, Brennan? It's always, no, it's not. But no, I kid, of course. I actually still have a BlackBerry powered phone. I want to go to this DNK because Sean blurted it out, and I'm like, thank goodness, because I'd forgotten all about it. Look at this higher consolidation. It's just sort of making some levels here, and I thought this stock was strong. Above $4, I'm still going to say it could still go. Below $4, I think that's when I'll enter it to short. Obviously, it made a top at 5 even, but I was looking at 6 to 6.15 for the ultimate rollover trade. I'll take one shot in front of 4 for a long trade. Usually, I'll go short these names. Maybe not this time until I get exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay, guys, and I see some people talking about our positions here and whatnot. You guys, if you do want to know what positions we have, like right now I'm flat, so you see no positions. You see Neil's positions, long, short, it's pretty obvious. And then on the chart here, you know, anytime you see a red, that means a sell, and anytime you see a green, that's a buy. So let's go over to something that I've shorted today. Maybe nothing, I don't think, actually, today. DraftKings, no, but Neil has a couple of those, and they're going to be purples, so you're going to see that. Oh, GE coming all the way back right now. That's a good little opportunity maybe to go long again. GE pulling back in as the market just watching some flatness there. So good outs on GE here. I heard someone say that, you know, a 10-cent win on GE isn't that big.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it just depends on how many shares you have, of course. And like the whole range today is about 10 cents. So that's not bad. But we're going to look into this one again on this break. And I don't love Palantir anymore to the long side, which means you should probably go long on this name. But what a crushed stock this has been again today. Palantir, what a big one for us. Thank you for joining us today. We do have a video coming up actually after, and we're going to find out what it's called here. Coming up on number 1. There it is, potential election trades. If you haven't made any yet, Grow Generation Grants, we've talked about that. We talked about them all, but that's what's coming up at 11:45. Nice picture, Rob. Thanks for that.
I don't want to spoil what was in there, but we may or may not have mentioned a little bit of Boeing last week when we taped that. Good on you if you bought it then, but today probably didn't want to buy it. We're selling the news on Boeing. It just broke that 215. I'm going to go with a trailing stop here. If it breaks back above that 215 area, I'll lock in what'll end up being, you know, like $2.50 worth of profit. This is the move I'm looking for down to 210. I'll get out in front of 210 if I can get like $6 or $7 off this trade. That actually will be just a little bit better than we had the opening trade here and got $5. So Boeing, sometimes you got to sell the news. If it had held that 213, all bets would have been off. But 223. Once that didn't happen, it was a short. That's why we covered these ones on the watch list. You knew Boeing was going to be in play today, and they're selling the news hard here. So either bounces off 210 and I get a $5, $6, $7 win, or I get at least 2.5 on a bit of a retracement play on my trailing stop. Already time for the small cap recap. I got some of those as well that I should cover. Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to small cap world. Pretty quiet morning so far. I wanted to mention there's Riot, Blockchain, and Mara moving around again today with Bitcoin overall. So if you're so inclined, want to trade those, definitely doing higher relative volume. We talked about the socket mobile in the pre-market. 320 up here was a bit of a level. If you go back to this initial day that it spiked up, going back to when it got approval for Apple Pay on this same device, the 320 to 3 and then kind of 290 was an area. So 320 up here, could have used that, could have used this 310 area was congestion right before the open, flushed down to 275. Overall, not very exciting for Socket Mobile so far, still up 25%. This one even less so. EGY still kind of grinding back to the downside. A little energy company will just continue along. Over to MFGP. Yeah, this micro, what was that, a UK-based software company? I'll double check. But MFGP, still 30%. Yeah, 85, as Neil's been mentioning. Has to hold as long as it's below that. We'll stick around with MFGP. Guys, back over to you.
If you heard me say watch out, that was a socket at that $3 range. That 3 was where I broke down into a bit of a short trade, adding to my position there. But I'm gonna give it to that level and that level only. A couple of things to update here. One of them, and I'll go yeehaw if I can. A little bit of a long on DNK. I did scalp some off here. This was a bit of a range that it put in between that 4 and this 440. So I'll go ahead and lock in some profit, like 15 cents for a third. If I get a dip into $4 closer, I'll improve my price. But below 4, I'll be short, and above it, I'll try the long in case it wants to make another run at the high of the day. The other good trade over here, and we'll go electric car. NEO, it is negative on the day, down 5%, but a bit of a range here. And I talked about scalping this one off. We make sure we did that and still holding at least a little bit of this position so we can get a break, hopefully, of 40 VWAP and then into 45. If we've got the bottom on NEO, we certainly have a good shot at making a buck on the rest of this trade. But I can't stare a gift horse in the mouth. I wasn't aggressive enough scalping it the first time I made this trade. Not making that mistake again.
Okay, gift horse in the mouth. NEO, yeah, good long. I'm going to wait for this to break 44.60, and then we're going to go long onto NEO. So, yeah, good trade there. You may be hearing me hitting the keys. Bitcoin trying to break now 17,000. So I've been shorting this one, needless to say. We're still negative pretty badly on GBTC today, but we were trying to play some longs, but it still is going down. But NEO, I do like that call. We're going to wait to see if it does touch that. Otherwise, yeah, you could come back to the downside. Nikola, let's check back in on that one. What's happening with Nikola? Back to nice little high side here on Nikola, 25 and change. But now coming back in, this one may be something that you may look to fade just because of, again, here we go. I'm still trading the stupid Bitcoin. Just look to fade this one as GM. Not sure what's happening with that call.
Here comes a big test right now, and it's been a cash cow for me so far in Boeing. It's going to sort of obviously be my top stock given the shorts that we've had on it. And I've been short most of the morning on the way back, but this is a key point here. It broke 15s. I got my trail. It's now consolidating lower. If it breaks this, I think we got a good shot at getting our target. Now, I talked about 210 previous close as a bit of a level. If it bounces off that, I would like to try to be long in the event of that bounce. So of course, that means I would have to cover a short first. So I have a target down here. You can see the turquoise line. If it breaks 212, I'll get out for what will be just about a $6 to $6.50 winner on Boeing. Brendan, what's up?
Smile Direct Club, back to the top of the list as far as volume is concerned so far on a relative basis. For me this morning, 8% here, back above $11, just broke through 11 there for SDC. We're getting into some significant levels, 1120 up to 1150, big time support on the daily chart, guys.
I forgot their earnings. Wow, I can't believe we missed out on Smile Direct. And the
That
thing
was
is,
yesterday, I think, wasn't it?
I know it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it yesterday, and obviously today you're gonna get some interesting action. Oddly enough, we're doing a bit of a, and here you go, it's a bit of a taping. And the only reason I'm saying this right now, we're doing a live stream for educational content. But if you can find, where is it? Number 1 on the list, how to narrow down your watch list. So if there's a reason why I wasn't looking at Smile Direct, it's because there's so much to look at. You got to make sure you keep it to a manageable number of trades and executions that you're going to have. I don't want to spoil exactly what we're going to go over. You can see all the topics there, but that's an important one. You get earnings season coming in, there's sectors that are in play, that's another topic we're covering, and you got to make sure you're hitting what's going to work best for you. My focus has been primarily on NEO to mixed success and Boeing to good success, and it is still leveling off at this area here. And if we get this push back up, I'll have to give the trail through that 215. I did think we get another push to the downside, but at some point I did expect Boeing to catch a bid, and if it's here, I will just walk away from another good short.
Yes. we're gonna look at a few different names coming up here. What about JP Morgan? We've looked at JP Morgan a little bit. I did get lighter on my position. We were long up with the 118. Okay, a very, very nice call here on JP Morgan. We're long sub 100. I did lighten up the other day at 116.50, I think it was, but a nice little move upside on JP Morgan, up 2%. We do have to find out what's going on with them, though. Nice little move to the high side there as Bitcoin trying to fight its way back. I am not long, so we lose everything on the long side. And here you go, just to give you guys a little look here on what it's doing. It is now trying to make moves back up. And again, I am not long, so we're flat on it. You'll see if I go into it. 1970, though, here on GBTC, that's Bitcoin bouncing off of 17,000 and back up just a little bit right now. That's JP Morgan. What about AMD? Another name that we like in the NASDAQ space, 83 and change here today for AMD. Oh, come on, let's go. AMD, switch charts over there. AMD, where's my chart? There it is. A nice bottom, 82. That's the kind of bottom that we're looking at when you sort of make that little bottom and then you consolidate and then rip to the high side right now. Watch the NASDAQ, still negative. ES positive, though. NASDAQ has to catch up, so AMD a good spot here.
Yeah, I just reloaded in DNKs. It just went right back into the bottom of this range right here at VWAP. So still about 425 I'm getting in, and I do the same thing, take it off around 440, 450, take some profit. Boeing, on the other hand, just brushed that 215 and then came right back down. Now, it's still battling off that level, so I just saw it go right back in there a couple of times back and forth. So there is a battle being waged. I think I got the right idea for where my trail is going to be. If it breaks back up, I'll just go ahead and take it off. My short is over here off of that 218 area, 217.80. So like I said, about $2.50 worth of profit. It'll end up being not as good as the first short, but this is a nice little point here of like inflection, as I said. And at some point, I do want to go long. It's just not quite at that point for me over here in Boeing. So for just shorts. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
We've been talking about DraftKings for most of the morning here, but this one, Penn National Gaming, just popping up here. Look at this volume spike. Big time volume through day highs there for Penn, coming up to $68. Also 4% today, guys.
Of course.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, Donkey Kong testing 48 again. I see that, Dan. Let's have a quick look at that again. Wow. DraftKings, come on, charts. DraftKings, again, retesting where we're already out. And like I said, man, DraftKings, I don't like the way it trades once the day gets going, so I probably will leave it alone. But yeah, it's retesting 48. And, you know, on a longer time frame here, we haven't been back here in a bit. So, you know, I don't really have anything the last couple of days. This is the call down here, 35. I hope you guys are long. We are now above that 50-period moving average and heading to $50. So probably we see 50 by Friday. What day is today? Wednesday. Yeah, we'll probably another couple upgrades overnight, and we get over this level, and then we break up through here, 52 and change. But I see it, Dan, and I know it's breaking through 48. I'm glad that we had it early, but we don't have it now.
Yeah, and Neil looks like it's breaking down. It's like I've been only scalp trading, and it feels like maybe I should have hung on to this short side trade, and that's the direction that's going to be going. I didn't have a huge read in terms of what direction. That's why I kept saying scalp it, scalp it. I did take it off just below break even here. So our last entry was at 86 and then our last out is at like 75. So you're going to lose like 10 cents on that trade. You're trying to make 20. Well, actually we made 40, 50 pennies on this trade and then 50 cents on this one. So a little better than what I was expecting to the upside on that little push. I don't know if the direction is going to be southbound. I'm going to probably stick to scalping until I'm really, really confident about it. Boeing did trail me out, so we'll only make about 250 on the rest of that trade. Maybe we're not going to get that 210 to buy. I might have to look for somewhere else to bottom pick on Boeing.
What about PCG? What was the news on PCG today, Brendan? Because, yeah, CEO news. New CEO? Okay, yeah, PCG, wow, they like that one. Up 8 and a bit %, taking out 1270 now. I think this is definitely a long that we could probably have. Last time up here, 1192. Let's just take a quick look at the daily chart. Wow, way breaking out now. 1285, the next couple levels. We did have some stopping spots up here back in June. 1275. It looks like we could break that. Let's go long. 1270. That's the high of the day. 1271. We're going to put on some PCG now, guys. What's up, Valeria or Brendan?
It was Patricia Pope, the new CEO at PG&E. That was the news. Ideanomics, guys, 10% again today. This thing's been slowly kind of turning back up. If you look at the daily chart, we got back above $1. Held above $1 2 days ago. We're kind of grinding back towards this 120 area, but just notice this thing on the volume chart today as well, 10.5% for Ideanomics. No news on that one, though. About an hour left over in Europe as far as the session is concerned. Valeria's watching what's going on over there.
Hey Brandon, European shares are higher on the vaccine news. French investment company Eurazeo is up more than 5% after selling its stake in cosmetics company Iberchem. Back to you.
Great stuff. Yeah, we'll look at Europe coming up again at 11, guys.
DNK. It did make another bounce off of $4. I missed an opportunity to add to my position down around this 410 bounce. If it comes down there again, I'll try to be patient, get something closer to that 10. If 4 breaks, that's what's going to get me into a short position. So I would get out of my long on a break and enter into a short. Looking for a breakdown right around to this 350, and you can obviously see this is a bit of a breakout pullback trade right at that 350 mark. If you go right to 930 at the open, so that would be an ultimate target if I roll into a short at 4. That's going to be the level for me. I'll still maintain if I get in, I'm going to scalp 25-30 cents at a time, and then see if I can't hold a little bit for a bit of a break on DNK. I still think it has a shot. If it holds 4 even, that's sort of an obvious chance to maybe retest those highs. And if it breaks the high, remember 6 to 615. Would be where I'd like to be going short in a rollover.
Wow, Neo, yeah, breaking lower and lower. And the thing is, man, my initial short was cash, but it did go against me about $1. Didn't go against me anything, but if I would have held it, it would have gone. We did reverse to the long and got out. That's why you see a sell there. So that was a great out. And now you're breaking even more lows on Neo. Let's check out XPEV. Obviously, some of its competition there in China. So here goes XPEV down still. That 6% as well. I mean, the more Neo breaks, the more XPEG breaks. And also, you probably have this very, very similar action here in Li Auto on the, LIELI.NQ here on the NASDAQ. So you are probably seeing oh no, this one's still holding up. So I'm wondering if Li Auto is a little bit stronger than we thought here. So this might be a name that we can hold on to here. Li Auto looking to make moves to the high side. Why is this one not falling as much as Neo? I know Neo had earnings, but so did XPEV making moves downside there. 34.80, I do like this. If we could take, I mean, this is some garbage up here, that's 35. What about a break of VWAP here on Li Auto? Let's take it if it gets back up, 34.60. This one should have a chance to go here on any strength in the market as it's holding out pretty good here. Li Auto, guys, 24.85 or so, let's go long, 34.
Yeah. A good look on Li Auto. You know what? It's very important to note in any sector that you're going to be trading. Relative strength, relative weakness. You point it out, you'll file it away, find some executable trades off of it. That's a good look on Li Auto. I actually hadn't noticed that. I'm going to go back to this EGY. Valcor. This is on our watch list, of course. If you want to read the details, they were just making a purchase, and it was a simple. Well, it's not always a simple trade, but it's a retracement trade. It never even got to this level here, and I wanted to point this one out. Just in the off chance it makes a hard turn, watch for like a 170 area to the upside. It doesn't look like that's going to happen because you're seeing it fall. I let you guys know about this 125 area. So it did break through, and I got some out at 120. That's a nice little 20-cent win or so on my shares. And then it broke back up, failed at 125, so we'll take some more shares out at 120. At this point, I'm just going to hang on. If it makes a move down to 1 even, of course, that's where I'm going to be out. As you know, I like to get out in front of that psychological level of a buck. So from here, it's either going to break back above this level, 135. I would lock in profit so it can turn into a losing trade, or I get a move down into $1. But it feels like this is one of those ones that I'll just be sitting in until the end of the show, or maybe even all day, as it slides down towards more profitability.
Okay, and PC&G, guys, again, took out some 75s there off this long 70. Big stock today, big move. We just did take out a quarter up there. So let's just wait to see what it wants to do. But I do like PCG there to get out through 75, if we could make that. Remember, 1275, we went back to the daily chart there and gave that little bit of a top. So we are well aware here of PCG's top of 1275. So we did take some out there. We did take it against that, but we're well aware of that. So we're going to wait to see on PCG now, 1275, taking that out. And here's the day, if you're just joining us right now, this is 1275, like right up here. That's 65, 75. It doesn't matter. We're whatever. It doesn't matter. We're discounting different pennies here. But that's a nice little high. I think we could take out 13, but needs to break 75 with conviction, and it just did not do that. So we'll wait to see. We still have an out, though, on PCG. If it does break back below something around here, 63, 64, maybe even 60, give this one a little bit of room to hope that we can get a little bit more on this one. But my only position right now is PCG.
What does it look like when you're up on a stock and you can see in the bottom there, socket just rolled by, made some money? Why is it a fail? Well, I'll show you why it's a fail. Here is me getting out when $3 broke. Why? Because it was sizing the offer at 3. And I was saying, watch out when Brendan was at the big screen as it was breaking 3. What happened at the open when it tried to test that level? It broke through, failed at 305, right around my original consolidation. And this is one of those things. Make sure you're not just looking at a level 2, which is exactly what I was doing. Have an eye on the chart to remind me that I got to give it a little bit of space here, because it did the same thing that did not shake me out at the open, because I was using a 315 area. So I probably shouldn't have got out of this one. Now, obviously, I'm not going to lose much on that trade because I re-entered it here at 96 and then got out at the ones. And obviously, we're getting bigger wins than that earlier on in the session. But a little bit of learning for you guys there. Always ensure that you're looking at all of the information necessary to make an execution decision, not just one piece of the puzzle. And the sad and sorry excuse here is if you guys give a side action shot, just this week I added some charts so I could have a little bit better of a look. And socket was right here when I was doing this and watching the level 2. So make sure you adjust to your new surroundings. For me, it's only new this week, but I should have been watching both the chart and my level 2 to look at that size. A bit of a fail there. It's going to end up costing me, guys, because it comes right back down into that profit taking. Certainly could have been holding this all morning long like EGY is looking like it's going to be. Socket should have been exactly the same thing for me.
Yeah, exactly, and that's good, man. I mean, you do have this upside. Can you post this, please? There we go. And the other thing here about PCG, we just got out some there at 78. Did I actually get 79s? Let me see what no, my best out was 78. So there it is, PCG, guys. Like, I'm just trying to give you the winners here today, and so far so good, man. The only thing we've lost on today is Target, and look where that is. Like, this is not. I mean, forget about averaging in, forget about all this kind of stuff. I haven't lost, like, if you take Target here, there's no way you can even really get hurt. We took a small bit here, 167.50. Unfortunately, it drops down to 166.50. I take the dollar hit, and now you're ripping to the high side. So we go perfect today, but we do have a notch in our belt here for Target, and that's the negative one today. DraftKings, you saw what we talked about that. Like, look at this winner, guys. You want winners? I got winners for you. 47.75 long side right there. GE, my biggest trade of the day was NEO, but this is second. GE on a big banger right there for you on GE. Bitcoin's a loser, but I haven't really made any calls on that one. NEO, biggest, this is my largest trade of the day. This short right here, 45. Like, if you held it, great. You had to hold it a buck against you. Now $3 in the money if you held that one. Nikola. Huge trade here off the open, 23.37 out there and then out again. That's a $2 winner. And then we take it on the bounce back up. That's another 40 cents for that winner. PCG, I currently have an 8-penny winner on board for you right now. So we don't have to talk about that anymore. And Palantir, I mean, you want to cash tickets right now. How about Palantir? So there we go. I do take this into respect right here. Thank you for this idea, DK. You should do a segment called Long-Term Swing Bangers. How about just intraday bangers for you? There you go. We just reviewed them all, and that's a bunch of winners right there. You guys are welcome. What a big one. Let's go. Oh, yeah, and Ford, by the way, Searching Life, if you were watching that one, that was a call I made at $6.50 for Ford for that buy, and let's just check out where Ford is right now. Bang that to the upside, $9. Let's go, guys. We're ready at the big screen after that review with Brendan.
Just saying to Robbie that we should definitely make a segment divider, small or long-term swing bangers. I like that one. 0.1% here for the S&P, guys. This is about as mixed as you're going to see this board. It is pretty flat. We have strength coming from consumer discretionary, strength coming from the industrial group. I'll talk about a few names here. NCLH, we talked about right off the bat this morning. They had the offering along with CCL, so 5% to the downside for NCLH. CCL, it's tough to see, but in there it's actually positive, 0.5%. So back to positive territory for Carnival, while Norwegian is 5% lower. GM, nice day today, 4.7%. Ford right behind it, 2.5%. So strength coming from the services group. And the discretionaries as well. Lows here, 5% to the downside after the earnings. TJ Maxx earnings as well were better than expected. So leading the way there, TJ Maxx, TJX, Target down there, 4.5% as well. Here's Under Armour. We've been kind of looking at that off and on over the past couple of days. Couple of good moves for UAA. All the airlines in here, UAL, AAL, Alaskan, Love, Dow, all 3+% higher. Partially because of the Boeing news as well on that front, vaccine related as well. Sean was mentioning GE top of the list in the goods part of the industrial sector. What is it? 2.7% for GE. Way over in the corner, just real quick, real estate stocks are higher, utility stocks slightly higher. This group, though, healthcare stocks, the only drag, significant drag on the overall market. Pretty flat, 0.14% right now in positive territory, guys.
I'm going to say one thing about that. Like, I like the concept, but someone just mentioned in the chat, I will say phrasing when it comes to swinger bangers. Watch the phrasing on that. We'll come with something a little bit better there. I talked about Boeing a couple of times here. It didn't quite get to 210, but there was another consolidation lower. I did get trailed out, but you look at this range that it put in. It was like 213 to 215 that concerned me. It broke downside and looked like it was headed towards 210 and then snapped back up. So when I see something like that, which is almost like a fail breakdown that wicks some people out, or maybe this was a trigger out for a long position. I lose that failure in a bit of a buyer there to get into some shares. Now, this is not, and you actually see me bidding in front of 210. This is not the 210 buy that I was looking for. This is more of like a quick retracement play. It'll be a tight stop to this 212 area here. So I'm entering the position at 213. I give it one more shot because I'd prefer a price closer to like 50s or 60s. So if it bounces off 212, I will try to add to this position. But I'm looking for a bounce here in Boeing. Of course, I still like it at 210 if it gets there, but it did seem like it was a bit of a fake out for anybody that thought it was going to go, like I did, that it was going to go to 210, and I like to play those in the opposite direction if I can.
Yeah, Boeing. I mean, some of these stocks have been pretty tricky today, that's for sure. Boeing, including there, and I do see some comment that someone was confused about the action on DNK there. So there
just broke 4. I just reversed short side because I was going long at 425. Now I'm short when it broke 4 even.
Okay, good. So there you go. So there's some talk. I haven't been watching it, guys, so that's why we throw back over to Neil there. Short now, DNK. Okay, Neo, I did want to talk about that a bit. There's some talk there on the chat about this stock. I wonder why. It's been a good one today, and it's been a busy one. That's for sure. Neo right now, 43.37. That made a bottom there, 42. I still want to catch this long, guys. I still want to catch this long. I'm just waiting for when and where. I'd rather catch it on breakouts like 44.60 right here on the upside. I'm not gonna. I know Neil talks about catching a falling knife and all this kind of stuff, and I just right now it's coming downside. I don't love the short here, down 7%. I think we can retrace back upside. So more moves to come on Neo, 44.50s or so. I like that play on Neo if we can get it. Not sure it's coming, but 44.50 right here on Neo, a good one today. Let's see if we grab that for sure. But that's what I'm looking at on that stock. We did talk a little bit about AMD retracing back high side here with the NASDAQ trying to go, and that's been a good trade since we talked about it. Some consolidation down here, now making more moves high side here is Neo, guys.
And we do go for, I don't know, we'll slay some dragon. I don't know if I hit the slay the dragon yet, but quick little push on 4 even. Of course, I talked about getting out all the way down. I got trailed all the way down to like in the mid 90s out of the long position, guys. So I got into the short and immediately was able to take a quick 15 cents scalp. I am holding the rest of this. I talked about this 350 area as an ultimate target back into the downside. Now, a lot of times what you'll see happen is some consolidation at that breakdown point because it did break first through 410 and it was a crazy on volume move all the way through that 4 even break. So I would not be shocked to see consolidation closer to the 4 to 410 area. That's why it takes them off so that they can work into a bit of a larger position if it does give me that consolidation. But that's how I would get into a larger position here on DNK. I'll take you guys quickly back over to Boeing. You see I am long in this name. I still, like I told you guys here, I do still like that 210 area. When I took this fill, it canceled, auto-canceled my order down in front of 210. I'll put that back in the event that this does get taken off. But if 212 wants to hold here, I do have the price that I like a little better now. 212.80 is going to be my price. I want it south of 213. So we're risking about $1 plus slippage, and I'll take some profit off out in front of what was a level here at 215, certainly. But I'd like to be able to try to hold this to a push back into VWAP if I can. So I'll try to take a third off between 14 and 15, a third off above that 15 area, and the rest holding for VWAP here. Maybe the Boeing bottom. I know I like 210. I'll probably have either a wider stop or more shares, one way or the other, a little bit more risk going for that long off 210, but still could be a bounce here on Boeing.
And I'm huge on absolutely everything, but just getting demolished here as we go short on Bitcoin right here and then have to get out at 20. So we just lose another 15 cents there on this name. So it just keeps on going for us on that. Palantir still upside. PCG now falling back down a little bit. We're out of more than half of this trade right now on PCG, but watch out, it's right at that tipping point, 60, I guess 59. We'll see about getting out on that one right there, but wow, stupid Bitcoin for me today, but we've crushed it though lately. What's up, bro?
Casia Therapeutics, a little therapeutics company, just halted there. It resumed already, it looks like, through 13 back downside, 28% though. You can see the volume coming in on the spike higher. They had a cancer treatment with data that was just released that came out better than expected. So KZIA, it's been a high flyer of late, guys.
Oh, you speaking my language, though. I did see that one in the chat, and apologies, because I was going over both DNK, which, look, that's still headed southbound, but it can't seem to break this 380 area, and I'm not going to take profit off till it does. When we take up these high flyers, I like halts that hold below that halt price. So you're looking at about $13 even here. It made a parabolic move into 14, but you want consolidation lower, enter into a short with a stop around that 13 area. Hasn't happened yet because you are seeing it test back above. So for me, that's why I'm staying away from it for the time being. Yes, that's a type of retracement I would look for, but it has to hold below that halt price. The fact that it extended into 14 and is still trying to hold 13 even makes it a little bit sloppy of an entry for me. I took a little bit of Boeing off a little bit sooner than I expected. Look, it's going to be a bit of a winning trade here. I did take like 50 pennies, but I was trying to take almost $1.50. So I just jumped right back in at the same price. So yeah, I'm going to end up winning on a scalp. Sometimes you make a mistake and you pay the spread or you pay 30 or 40 cents to get back into position. This time it made me 50 pennies, but that all evens out in the end. It was a bit of a keystroke error, just thankfully in my favor. I still do have a target between 14 and 15, and then if 15 breaks, I'll get some out between that and VWAP and then try to hold the rest of Boeing. Now in the money, first time long in Boeing.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's always nice to be in the money. That's for damn sure. And PC&G trying to get back to that spot for me. So we're going to wait for that. We're long at 12.70 right now. Sorry, 71. And you can see here, it did get as high as 80 there before we got out of some of those shares. And like, there we go. Like I take a long now in Bitcoin and then it starts to turn around. We are long just right now, $20.15 right here at VWAP. And then it stops. And now it's looking to fade back down. So yeah, what a surprise there for me. We'll see if we can get out of this one and not take another loss on it, but doesn't look like it. So Bitcoin now going back to the downside. We'll see if we can punch out on this one. But here we go. Market moving back up. The NQs moving around. NEO trying to get back up, guys. You know the spot that I'm looking at, and it's right here, 44.40. We're going to get there very, very soon.
Yeah, and trying again to make a push downside is that DNK, and it did briefly break this 380 level. Buyer stepped right back into it. There was no consolidation to add to the position. So the fact that it's my first exit here in front of 80, if it's bouncing here again, I'm not going to add to this thing. I'll probably take a tight stop off at 4 even and then look for a retracement back into VWAP in the event that it comes up. I always want to have a plan of action, even when it's working in the money for me, just in case I have to make a quick decision. Am I re-entering when it gets back up to this 410, 420 area? Yes or no? Because it might be a very, very fast decision. You see some of these moves to the upside. It can happen in a minute. It can happen in seconds. Just want to be prepared in the event that it does. It's easier to make those plans when you're working in the money as opposed to when it's screaming up against you. That's why you'll hear me saying that. It looks like Boeing is going to make another push here. I'm going to hold off taking anything off until we enter that 214 to 215 range. If it comes up and smacks my order here, we'll go ahead and take a couple of bucks worth of profit or just shy of that and then hold on to the rest. Boeing been my top stock today. I'm going to try not to stray too far away from it because the read has been pretty good with the exception of this one trailing stop here at 215. I did throw away a couple of dollars worth of profit on that short.
Yeah, I mean, I always do that too with the stop shorts there on that. NEO, here we come, guys, right back. Yeah. 44, so it's coming right to what we said. We probably going to look to go long. I'm actually looking right here. This is 44.58 here, looking to go long through NEO. 44.58. I think we could get there. I said that I didn't want to bottom pick this thing just because it was a falling knife, but I'm glad that we did talk about longs down here at 43. I just didn't want to pull the trigger myself, so I hope that some of you did at least there and take a little bit of an advantage of this one moving back to the upside. But 44, it's this high right here. I'm going to actually give it to VWAP, and then what is this? 44.60. So we're going to go long NEO once we get back to 44.60. I understand it's a little bit late. I got to go get my water as I feel parched right now. So 44.60, that's going to be a good one right there for NEO. That's what I'm looking at right now. Nothing on board except for PCG, but NEO looking for that.
And there goes Boeing. We're getting really close to our target. 214 just broke to the upside. So it looks like this is sometimes you have to adjust your plan. You don't always get the bottom pick exactly where you like it. Got some other signals that this could be the low. So 210 was not going to be the level for me. But it's already 1050. So let's see if we can get to the big board. Money talks. We know crypto's been moving. Let's see an update from Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's go into foreign exchange land. That chart just continues to go to the upside. This is Bitcoin once again today. Again, 10,400, 500 down here. This is a month ago. 18,300 and change was the high today. We are coming off the high back to 17,853, but it did actually break that 18,000 level early on this morning. You can see still up about 1.25% here, down 1.3% for Ethereum on the other side of things. Let's go to currencies. The euro higher today, Canadian dollar back to the upside, 76.5. British pound about 0.5% there, back above 133. Overall, a little bit of U.S. dollar weakness coming back into play. Not a heck of a lot as far as news is concerned. You can see both the Japanese yen, Swiss franc to the downside. That typically means equities are coming off as far as volatility is concerned. Australia and New Zealand both higher. There was some manufacturing data in New Zealand that was a little better than expected. So 0.5% or a little bit more than 0.5% for the Kiwi, I guess it's called, guys. Back over to you.
All right, I'll get my water when he comes back right now. Look at Palantir, guys, 1920 to the upside right now, and this was the call early, guys. 1834. I hear yeehaw in the background. I wonder if that's Greg, because we are both long and strong. Unfortunately, I did get some out at 14, at 15, then again at 18 yesterday, but we're up to 19. Remember when it was like at 13 just a couple days ago? Put this in the chat if you remember. And I said we could get a double from that 13 level, and I even said, well, we'll probably maybe get to 20, and there it is. Put it in the chat if you remember that one, and then we'll keep going with it. But that was a good call there on Palantir, up to 1920 right now. So a good call on Palantir as it goes to the high side. Neil's back. I'm going to go get some water.
Yeah, and I'm back just in time because I did say a little bathroom break there, guys. Thank you for covering, Sean. But 214, it rolled into this level here, 214 to 215, and then turned around at 50s. When that happens, I always talk about a target area of exit, and if it rejects that price, I'll take some profit both either sitting in the middle, and I was doing so on the north side of 214.50, or as it comes back in, just take it out on the way down and make sure once it's in that target area, I don't miss my opportunity to take profit if it rejects. And the reason is, if it turns around at that price, I'm anticipating a push back down towards the low. In this case, the reason I will not reload down here around this 212.50 area is simply because of the initial read I had at 210 and liking the previous close as a bit of a bounce spot in Boeing. The other side to that coin, of course, is if you sort of look at that 235 area that we're looking at on the daily chart and where we got to the high of today, right around that 230 is the midpoint, and that's like 10% back down to that 210. I always like that like simple math idea, but I'm not going to reload here just because I think there's a better and deeper buy on that name. Somehow, I fully expect this, and I was talking about this potential move to the upside on DNK, and let you guys know that, look, I'm gonna get it out if it breaks 4 even. And you know what? I don't care if I get shaken out of this trade. It just feels like if it's going to break this, how is it not going to give me a re-entry around this 10 to 25 area that I can play for another short? So, as much as it is still trying to hold basically break even, and I actually missed a chance to get out at 76, it just keeps on bouncing off of 75 to 80 here, and I don't want to get caught with the pants down, as I like to say. Speaking of Boeing and education and all this other stuff that we talk about here, I want to remind everybody, potential election trades is a video that we are dropping, and I don't want to I keep trying to not spoil things for you. Valeri's going to have this for you guys in the chat if you check out the link in about 30-40 minutes or so. But one of the things that was talked about was there was negative news on Boeing last week, and we knew about this day coming, speculation at least, so they get the ungrounding, but there was negative news to buy a bit of a dip. That could get some relief on a secondary, push or secondary catalyst for Boeing coming up in January. So talk a little bit about that as an opportunity for you guys. Always check out our Market Wisdom page. I think it's going to be worthwhile for you. Just going back over to one other name, if I can, very, very briefly here, MFGP. I keep bungling this one for you guys. This, and I apologize for the wick, it's going to make my chart look ridiculous. There you go, a little bit better. I moved my stop from high of day, usually it'd be at that 495 or 5 even on the short trade, to this 485 level. And it just keeps on brushing up to this level here. And I've said it feels a little bit strong. I had that same feeling in DNK yesterday, and you saw that explode in the afternoon. So, in the event that it just hangs out in this range all morning long, holds 475 and VWAP, I know I am still short this one, basically at that level here at 76 as an average price. But if it breaks 85, I'll take a 10-cent hit. If this has not broken in the afternoon, I feel like that is a breakout all day, either at 85 or at 5, whichever you prefer. So again, plan of action in case it does not go in my favor. So far, it has not been bad yet, but that can all change rather quickly.
I guess I'm not getting that Palantir bid down at 1840. Remember when we were long this thing and I said, like, if we can get back down here to VWAP on this move down, we would try to get longer, and it didn't happen. So there it is. And Greg putting in our chat, Palantir's the king. And yeah, we talked about that a long time ago, why we liked Palantir and what the deal with it was. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are all along, and we keep talking about the same stock. I understand that. Let's go over to Tesla right now. NQ 455, and this is, look, I put these lines early on Tesla, like for yesterday's trading, and sometimes it's doing this right now. I don't know why it does these vertical lines, but here we go, 457, 454, so you're in a range now, actually 457 to 453.50 or so. We need to break out from this, and even if it does, man, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, here's a little bit of a breakout there, wick back up and down. I don't love Tesla right now. Look, the NASDAQ to positive right now. What's up, B?
Another EV maker set to join the party here. Looks like a UK-based company called Arrival. They make electric, specifically delivery vans. So a lot of the delivery companies going to be looking at this one. But from the UK, it's called Arrival. It's going to go public with a merger that includes this one, CIIC, which is SIG Merger Corporation, trades under CIIC. So another SPAC, another EV maker, Arrival, going public, guys. This one up about 16% today.
And this is why I took some profit on Boeing here. And I'm going to give you another look here. The fact that it rejected that level, that price area they were looking for a target, that's going to make me tighten the stop up. I'll make sure it's not necessarily break even, but it's very, very close to break even on the rest of these shares. So you go ahead and take the profit of about a couple of dollars, well, $1.50 to $2 in that range, whatever you're able to get yourself based on that entry point. And then the next 2/3 of the position, you tighten the stop up to about 50 pennies or so, or just a little bit more than that. So this long now cannot be a losing trade. I gave it a shot to go. It still has a chance to do that, but I'm managing the risk here that in case it does make a breakdown towards that 210, which I still think could be in the cards, is whatever probability it is, like 20, 30% kind of probability. I want that long to be there for me. I don't want to have blown away all the profit I have in Boeing in case. So that's the adjustment. Yes, I know it's going back up here, so it is working out. But again, it just feels like I'm a broken record saying over and over again, before things turn bad on you, have a plan of action as to what you're going to do about it. Just to update on this EGY, I'm not ignoring the stock. It's just this one is working out rather nicely as opposed to what you're seeing over in that MFGP. It's trying to break this 117 area here. That's the current bottom. I actually have orders in, so when it goes and flushes down any further, I'll just get taken out on the way to $1, guys. So nothing to worry here. I'm not going to, but you could trail to 125. I actually have my out to get at 135 here, so it'll be back above VWAP, so it has to go pretty far for me to get out of this. Again, I'm just holding the last 20% of the position.
Okay, yeah, PCNG, we're still holding that one. It didn't break back downside, so we're still holding that one, and we're trying to fight this GBTC here at 40, but it's a game that we're losing today. Big screen with V.
Hey guys, European shares are mostly in a positive territory. Britain is up 0.33%. Russia is up 0.93%. Germany is up 0.4%, and France is up 0.45%. French Ubisoft is a positive mover after it said that its game Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the best seller in the series. Back to the traders.
Good question here, and I'm going to go Dan Rowland. You do see the profits roll on the bottom. So you do see me, I'm down on low. I took it off the open, and I did have two entry points I was looking for. The first one was going to be shorting into the open. It did violate that 152, 50-ish area. That's why I got out. Now, the reason I didn't get back in, I did have a target of 156.50 that I was looking for any kind of a rollover for what would have been obviously a better trade, but it didn't quite get there. So it wicked up to 155 and change. And this happened very, very fast, obviously going in the first couple of minutes of the day, but it never quite triggered into that area that I was looking for to get the other short. So you are going to see it come back down. But look, it's actually holding that 150 mark. So it never really presented itself another trade for me. Yes, it's going to look like you could have caught this spike here. And if I had been looking to average into that position, which I usually do at the 930 type break, that would have worked out. But when it's that secondary push, I'm looking for the rejection in my area and then one shot to jam into shares the same way I would like a parabolic move on a small cap. So that's the only reason why I'm not in that other low trade. So I am down on it. Obviously, it worked as an overall read. I'm going to get out of Boeing here as it just broke back down below that 220, 50 area, and it triggered me out. So lose about 40 pennies on that after making, $1.50 or so. I'm perfectly happy with that. In case it goes, fair enough. I don't have a problem if it goes from here. I still like to see if it can't test that 210 though. I want to be very careful picking the bottom when I did like another level for a bounce even more than this 212.50 area.
All right, we are still watching this GBTC, and we went short and it went up. So there you go. So that's the end of that trade for me. I did want to go back. Obviously, Neil came close. Like I said, man, we came right to VWAP there. This is why we're giving it to 60. We don't get in. So just in case you guys are looking at that trade, we did not take it there. We're not in on Neo. 44.60. We're still looking for that one. DraftKings, I mean, this has been a big one today. Again, we're 7 for 8 today on all the calls, and the only loser is a target long, which is now at all-time highs. So there you go for that one. This is GBTC. Let's go over to DraftKings. There, we're flat on GBTC now. 48 and change. Watch this one, guys. It's just stopped here at 49. So I think this is probably a decent spot to look to go short, especially if the market does come back down here. NASDAQ tried to go positive, now turning red again. So I do like DraftKings on the break right now, basically 48.35. So there we go. We're going to break this. Let's go 48.25. I mean, I would like to wait actually until 48, but I think that's a little bit too much. We're already come off from the high of 49 and change. So DraftKings, I mean, there's this little garbage right here. I think it's setting up to go short off this because we've broken through here. We missed this 48.50, but we could take it right now. All right, let's take it small right now through 35 DraftKings short, guys.
And speaking of shorts, just going to go back to this DNK, keeps on trying to roll over. You're going to see this range get put in, and it just keeps on reiterating the reason why I don't mind getting taken out if it breaks this 4. It's very, very binary here. I'm not going to do anything inside. If it breaks down, I'm going to use that momentum to get me out on the way to 350. And if it breaks to the upside, I really do think I'm going to get that test back at 420. So again, this does work in the money for me a little bit here, but it needs to go just a little bit further before we get a real test. I want to go back to this KZIA that Brendan brought to your attention here. I know some of you guys are looking at this in the chat on your own as well before it went parabolic and had that halt. I give you the reasons why I kind of stayed away from it. It definitely gave you a little bit of consolidation down here at 1260, 1250. If you don't catch this right away, I'm not going to jump into the short here just because it's like 1220 or so and it's holding below VWAP. But what I will look for is if you kind of let's zoom out so you can see the pre-market action here. If you look at this top here at 1188, anytime I see this hard retracement bounce off a level like that, I start to say to myself, if it holds this throughout the afternoon, what do you think is going to happen? Good shot that you can try a bit of a long off of that, a level like that, just in case it goes parabolic again or gets a second wind or third wind, whatever you want to call it. So I am watching this 1180 to 1188 on KZIA. If it holds, that would be a long for me. I know we usually go short on these types of plays, but when the setup is there, I will take a long. And if we bounce one more time off this 1188, I'm going to take my shot.
I just want to give you guys an update here. There is some size just showed up here on DraftKings at 30, so I'm very, very cautious of this size. That's right here. We did go short. We're short 27, but then this guy came and started defending that. So I don't know if you like this trade, hold on to it. But there is a 40-30 bid there, so you got to watch out for that. It needs to get cracked, and I don't know if it's going to. It showed up there. They tried it, and it bounced back to the high side. Just want to give you guys that update there on DKNG. What's up, B?
So there was that KZIA. This one just popped up as well. Jaguar Health, 12% on a big volume spike here through 21 cents. A little teeny tiny penny stock, but just popping up on a volume scanner here for JAGX, guys.
JAG-X. So again, you're going to come with these names, and it's probably going to be. The issue with this one, I'm going to quickly go over this. It is a penny stock, so you have to immediately sort of do that mental switch. Just pretend it's like $2.10 or $21 instead of 21 cents. Now, when you get a parabolic move, I would ideally like to see some halts, but the volume seems good at 3.8, but all things in perspective, it's not a huge amount of volume for a penny stock. So it's okay, but you do have to watch out a little bit for liquidity. I know that seems strange to say when you can throw around thousands of shares, but it's all relative. If you can't scale it, it's not worth it. So I'm going to be watching this one similarly to how I would any of these other parabolic movers. But for now, the volume not necessarily there for me. It immediately tapered off when it made this secondary push through 20 cents. If it starts to pick back up again, I think maybe that'll be a little bit more enticing to me. Boeing still in that bottom end of the range. It can't seem to get out of its own way on the way back to the upside. So I'm going to be holding fort. It's still my top stock of the day, but I just haven't been able to round into the best long positions. I haven't lost money on the long. I just haven't been able to get this one to go so far. It's been all short until this point right here. And apologies, we can't differentiate between when we're covering short positions and then getting into a long. The first long was right here at 213, and then a couple more times between 212 and 213. My last out, I covered at 212.50, so a small hit there. It's still basing out. So it looks like it's trying to put in a low. The market's basically flat on the NASDAQ and very, very slightly up on the ES. So there is a good chance that if we go up from here, I got to have a piece of Boeing. Whether it's going to be a break of 214.50, which I don't love, I might look at the 215 area a little bit more, or just another shot right at that same level, using that 212 as a bottom. One way or another, I'm going to be going long in Boeing at some point.
Okay, guys, 49.10 or so we're going to get out if it does break upside here on DraftKings. We did talk about that running away there. I told you we were very, very small here, which is why we're averaging in. And again, I'll tell you when we put on big shares or when we put on small shares. And this DraftKings right now at 11 o'clock, small right here. I told you we missed that initial break, and then it rips up, I think, off that buyer at 30. So that's, I was in trouble, not in trouble. We were out of the money 3 pennies when we identified it. But there it is. We make that bottom. And then I averaged in here just thinking that this run is maybe a little bit overdone here back to the upside. And if it wants to take out day's high again, then we'll get out 49.05. But right now averaged into DraftKings. And guys, we're out of the money 15 cents. And I know, I'm talking like this is a problem, and it's because we don't normally have losers on for you here. So that's why I'm trying to just give you an idea of why I did this here. I thought it was coming back to the downside. It makes a move up. I think that's off that bid. So here we go. Now we're only down out of the money now. 10 cents on DraftKings. So I think come on, baby. I think we can retest back here. We'll wait to see what happens if the guy shows back up at 30. If he does, we're going to get out anyways at like 31, 32 off that reload. And then we'll see if we can't break 48 if we do break that guy at 30. But I'm going to put a bid around 31, like 32, 33 to the downside just in case it comes screaming right back down. But look at that short. A nice little win. We go right back into the money on DKNG.
Yeah, and like I said, $4 on that DNK. If it broke, I would get out of it and look for a re-entry. That's exactly what happened. So eyeballs for me are on this stock, hopefully getting right back into that 410 to 425 range, consolidating VWAP. And if it goes sideways, I can then look for a re-entry point. Now, the key is I'm trying to catch it on the way back down. I want to see it reject off VWAP or reject off of this 30 to 35 area and then roll into a short as opposed to just stand in front of it after it's made such a decent bottom here at 375. I mean, the trend obviously is going to be a retracement at this point, so I don't mind the fact that we're going to jump into this one, I mean, somewhat aggressively, but got to play it the way I'm looking for it, and it was 410 to 425 that I want. So that's the plan over in DNK. Back to Boeing for a quick second here. I did throw a bid because I am going to try to get back in sort of, it's trying to again form a bit of a wedge here. So a lower high got put in. It's already put in a higher low. So I will try to get back in around that same price. And again, it's going to be the same story. We're going to risk like 30, 40 cents, maybe 50 or 60 on the high end, and then try and catch a bigger breakout style trade. So being nimble with the long positions here, which means I have to wait for it to pull back in just a little bit and not pay up to a 214 break on Boeing. So a bit of rinse and repeat action for you guys there. I feel there's one thing that I forgot to remind you about because we're all over these names, guys, on the watch list. And sometimes it feels like we run out of time. There's so much to cover, but we're going to rectify that for you. Starting on November 30th, we're opening the show at 8:30. So we have an hour till the open. We can go over the entire watch list, go a little bit more in depth, so you guys understand exactly what the plan of action is. Preparation is everything. You want to know what you're going to do in the event something happens, so that when the time comes to execute, you have a plan and you're not panicking. You're more robotic. I mean, robotic's not the best word for it, but you don't want to be reacting emotionally to trades. You want to be going in as according to plan that you've already put in. So that's why we're going for the extra half an hour at the open, and then closing the show at 11:30. So hope you guys enjoy that. Let's go to Brennan at the desk.
I mentioned this one early on this morning. Westwater Resources just made a new day high there through 590 on another volume spike. So popped up once again. WWR. I was just looking. It looks like 625 to 640. A little bit of resistance on the daily time frame. Otherwise, though, still some room possibly for Westwater, guys.
All right. Yeah, I'm just looking here at trying to watch this Bitcoin to see what's happening right here. But there we go. NEO on the break to the upside. We called that this was coming, guys. So I hope you have this with us. Let's just see what happens now as NEO trying to make moves now to the upside. It does make that move all the way back up. We waited for it to break VWAP. We're back into this one. So here we go. Long NEO and see what's happening. And boom, to the upside goes NEO. Your boy did it again. Let's just see if we can get out, though. We want to make sure we get out. 74, 75 is NEO ripping to the moon, guys. We did it again on NEO. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Long 44.63. I hope you have this with me. I'm hitting keys and getting out. We don't take baby shares. We take real shares. I told you that when we're going to go into this one, we're going to hit it with shares. So there it is. A nice little win on NEO, guys.
Just got back into Boeing. Talked about getting into this one on this little dip here. We're already about 40, 50 cents in the money, but I am giving myself room to add to it in case we get some consolidation. I like this for a breakout play. I also like it for $1.50 to $2 scalp trades, which we've been doing on the front end of each one of these Boeing trades. So it's going to be the same thing over and over again until we get the final break to the upside. If you're going back over to that DNK, it never quite got, it got to like 415 or so, but now it's basing a little bit higher. So there wasn't the entry point into the short. It is about having a plan, and I'm going to try to stay disciplined with it. If we go back down into this consolidation, which was 75 to 4, yeah, I'm just going to short in that range one more time. But so it's got to go a little bit higher for me to give the test of VWAP here. Boeing haven't added yet. Still just have 213.32 as an entry point. At some point, it's going to go up, and I'm going to have it when it does. Brennan, what's up, buddy?
Green Power Motors company. This is a Canadian company. They make electric city buses and transit vehicles, things of that nature. This thing's had 2 or 3 days to the upside, but worth a look here. Just made a day high on a volume alert. Popped up in front of me, 15.25% once again today. This thing was a mover yesterday and the day before as well. But GP, guys.
Bang, and NEO, there it is again, guys. Hide your faces now because the belly dance is coming through. And we just ripping this one to the high side. That's more wins, guys. That's more wins for us today. NEO, Palantir, everything ripping. DraftKings as well. What a big move. Everything's happening today for me. So it's been good, man. If I could have just somehow avoided that stupid Bitcoin, we would have been okay. But I just noticing that there's some size there at 80. So we could probably get some of our shares out now. Here, there was some size at 44.80. We're almost out of everything, man, on this NEO play. We were in, and we are in big. The largest position today for NEO, for both myself or Neil, happens right here at 44.64, ripping it to the high side right now. That's what happens when you have conviction, guys. The cash cow is back. I'm here for you, 8 for 9. Let's go.
KZIA, talked about this name. When it comes to shorting off of these halt trades, a retest of that same halt level. Now, it bounced off 1180. We covered that when it did, what the plan of action was going to be. But once I see a failure at that halt price, I'm going to go into the short again off that same level. It doesn't give me any sideways action to get any more, but I would like consolidation around 80s or so I can build a position. 73 is my first price. I will definitely add some in the 80s. We're just using that 13 as an obvious sort of stop level. Hard turnaround. You look at this wick up here. Anytime it's, you call it coincidence. I don't. I think when it turns like that, it obviously means some people are looking at the same chart that you are. Boeing just broke 214, so it is about $1 in the money. Let's see what happens. It's that 214 to 215 range. It has to break out of that. If it doesn't break out, then obviously I'm going to be still doing pullback longs and trying to scalp it. Otherwise, it's a VWAP or tracing play. That should be good for about at least $3, $3 or $4 potentially on Boeing. Long finally looking like it's going to work on Boeing.
And guys, thank you for the love as NEO just Boom! We make the day. We make everything. This has been a big, big trade for NIO, NIO, guys. We get excited because this is exactly what we're doing. We're sitting here. We're trying to make these trades for you, trying to crush them every day. And again, like 90s. Hells yes on NIO, guys. Big time trading here. We're hella positive on this name. I hope you're following these trades. I hope you love the show because, yeah, we ain't getting unplugged. We're not even close to becoming unplugged right now. We're getting lit up right here. We're going bang, big time position. Like I said, the largest one on the floor today happens right here, right now. Look at this. There's 2 or 3 ins right here. Bang, bang, bang. 44.60 up in the money. This nice little 30 cents. We are hella excited, Neil, on this side. I hope it's going well for you. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Boeing continues to go up, we're now clean dollar in the money on that one. I didn't get more shares in KZIA, but DNK broke back below that $4. So I didn't get the target entry at 415, like I did mention, of course. But I said if it goes back down and gives you the same range at that 4 even, I would just jump into the same position again, guys. So I got it right here. My price is literally the same as it was before, 93.5, and I'll play this to the downside. It has to break 376 before you get really confident. Scalp some off, take your 20 cents, be happy that you do. It is ultimately a $4 stock, but once I'm going to hold half the position for that 350 mark. That has been the target all along to the downside. So if I get like 40 or 50 cents, that's probably around the maximum that we'll get on DNK. So we'll start with about 20 pennies worth of a win there. Still trying to break out past 214.50 on Boeing. That's the key. This area has been a true test for Boeing. Once it breaks it, I think it's going to be a great winner here to the upside. Brennan, what's up, bud?
I just saw this one Fastly, one we've looked at many times in the past, right at $80. It tried once, failed. We're back down to 79.5, but $80, big level here on the daily chart for FSLY, guys.
Oh, yeah. And guess what, guys? Chicken dinner winner time. Let's bring it back to another stock right now. What about DraftKings, Sean? What about DraftKings, Sean? I thought that was a loser. Nepa loser, guys. DraftKings averaged in, bang, bang, bang. We talked about why we like that average in. We talked about that guy at 30, and now we're watching it getting crushed. This is a 37-cent winner right now on DraftKings, so that's nice. We have 7 cents now on NIO. We're out of NIO. Embarrassingly low amount of shares right now. It's actually 10 shares we have on NIO. PCG, 2 cents in the money right here as well. And Li Auto, we just got into that one on that break. So watch out for Li Auto. New position alert. But here we go. It breaks 40, and your boy is here. It is Slapshot Central. Look at DraftKings, guys. 48.15 now to the downside. What a day, Neil. What a day.
It'll be a better day once 215 goes on Boeing, guys. So it's not that I don't want to take $1.50 on the stock, but again, this is a clean break that has to go. You're getting a bottom end consolidation here, and once we get up to VWAP, we're going to be all over this one for you. At some point, like I said, it's going to be a hold trade to the long. This is why I'm not taking any profit. If I added to this position, certainly a longer consolidation like it did down here, then I would be scalping it. But this is not going to be a scalp trade until we get to VWAP. I'm either going to get more shares down here and it holds the low, or we're going to get a $3 winner. So I want you guys to know, Boeing, that's going to be the plan of action. Did get back, of course, into that, sorry, not back into that short in KZIA. I do like this one off of this halt level. Now, I'm not taking any profit till it breaks this 1250 to the downside. When that happens, 1180 still, I think, is going to be a bit of a problem for this stock. So we'll probably limit, I'm going to limit myself to about 50 cents to $1 worth of profit on that name, guys. You have to have a target, in my opinion, when you're trading these short trades. Either way, they could start going in the afternoon one more time. There's 215 on Boeing. So the march is on. I'm looking for $3.50 on this trade.
Nice $3.50 winner. Yeah, you guys loving the air guitar there. DraftKings, I mean, we're just loving life right now, as today has been just such a monster day for us, and we're still going, and we're not going to stop. Well, we are going to stop. It's 11:20. We have a little bit more to go. And there it is, Valeria. Look, you guys wanted the action. There it is, and there's the moonwalk as well for you, so everybody gets that today. Everybody happy. Don't forget, though, coming up, and unfortunately we'll be back, but it won't be trading. It will be our education, if I can ever find it, coming up number 2 here. Let's see if that's the right one. There it is. At 1 p.m. We'll be back talking about these 5 topics, including Raheem from OGI Group, OCI Capital coming through, OGI Groups coming through on that small cap trades in Canada. So we've had some good interviews in the Canadian space lately, in the US space and Canadian space. This is going to be specific to here in Canada. Bye-bye, DraftKings. You're now a 70-cent winner as you just continue to get real spicy for yours truly here. And we keep on winning on this one, guys. Neo, we're still in that. Let's just get out of it. What a big trade that was. You already know what I'm talking about. Hydration Nation's in the building. And we give a big thanks to Brendan for his continued great work on the show here. What a big show today. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm exhausted already, guys. Wow.
Yeah, we'll keep it going over here. We just broke the range on Boeing, so this is going to be where I start to think about a trail. It had to break through here definitively. It has not done it yet, so you want to make sure you're taking some profits. We'll update you. I'm going to give it back down towards basically break even. It's going to be that 213 to 214 area. So if we slip below 214, it looks like we're testing towards the low. I'm going to get out of this trade for about break even. But as I say, have a plan of action in case it goes down. We are still in the money, $2 on this trade. And I do anticipate we make a VWAP retracement on this name. KZIA did break to the upside here, so obviously I missed out on the long. I was trying to tell you guys about this little bounce here. I roll into the consolidation. If it violates this price here, just get out. Now, ultimately, yes, it's only 25 cents worth of risk on a stock that's put in $3 worth of a range. But once it's halted, price discovery is a little bit tighter, so I want to make sure that I'm trading a little bit tighter as well. So I will give it another shot if it rolls to that 14 high and rejects. But for the time being, this is the time of day that you want to take paper cuts, not gashes, guys. Boeing still going, obviously. And the last one over here, I want to go back to. I haven't touched NEO. Obviously, I was scalping it a little bit earlier, and I didn't have really much of a look in terms of direction. It does still feel like it is rolling into a short because the trend is coming back in. It just rejected off what was a problem here at 45.20. And I did have a long going into this range here, and it just rejected off of it. So I'm going to look at this 45.20 to 25 as a potential breakout price. If we can hold this range here, I would look to see if we could take out 45.20, maybe run that towards 46. Again, I've stayed away from NEO and trying to pick my spots carefully in this name.
Guys, you want to talk about picking spots? I mean, we already gave you that hammer time there. Would have been a good short at 45. What'd that be?
Another one, guys. Nikola, DraftKings moving downside. Nikola just broke downside as well. Was having trouble with 25 there for quite some time. Big flush down. We're retesting 24.75 now, but another one that's looking a little bit weak, along with some other EV names right now, guys.
People want to know what a long is for tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find out what the market wants to do tomorrow. Yeah, we're out of NEO there. Great trade on the upside there. Can't hit that enough. And then we do cash cow. Cash cow. Let's just bring the cash cow. The wife told me she's watching the show. She's loving the cash cow. So there it is. Of course, she's loving the cash cow. What a surprise. 47.90 there. This is now an 80-cent winner on DraftKings, guys. We could have been way huge, but look at this. Break 48, guys. Look at this short. Valeria laughing over there. Hopefully the chat has been a fun one today. That's for sure. I know you guys love these, the action, the winners, and everything that we're doing. Just please, if you can, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and definitely come back for more action tomorrow. I'm going to be here, and we'll both be here tomorrow. It should be a good day. DraftKings just bouncing off 48 even there. I'm going to use this 48.30 as my out if it does come back upside. 48.30 out on DraftKings if that does come. We'll just take a 50-cent winner on a $40 name. Not bad.
Nothing bad about that at all. I feel like this has been neglected, and we did talk about this earlier. Make sure you whittle down that watch list just a little bit so you're not over trading. But AMC, now obviously there was some an update, we'll call it, from Pfizer and the efficacy there, but AMC didn't make a move off of that as a recovery name. It did just push to the upside, but here's the thing. Pre-market top here, 330, just rolled over off of that level. I think I've only shorted, this has got to be true, I've only shorted AMC the entire time it makes any kind of a pop, and there's been some good ones, but I am now watching this level here, and it's not, you go all the way back, and there was a bit of a break down through this 330 price. You saw a bit of an inflection point here where it turned from bouncing off 330 to a short the rest of the session back on the 10th and 11th. So I like this price. I like the fact that it was a pre-market top. I like the fact that it's rolling over here. I'm going short in AMC. Yeah, back to $2 in Boeing. That actually looked like it was going to retrace. I guess not. I want 3.5 still, but that's working in the money for us. Going to get AMC right now off a 330 high. I'm going short.
Oh, Palantir, why I love you so, because we're barbecuing you up again. And if you could, Palantir, show me the money. We talk about it coming right back down to VWAP. And when we had my friend Kevin O'Leary on, he was saying money, money, money. And look at this, guys, 63s, out 70s right here on Palantir. We still have it, but we're light. We just scalping back and forth at 11.25. I mean, what else are we going to do here? Palantir down to 1860. We picked that up at 1862. And now you're at 69, man. You're seeing a smile on this kid's face because this is what we're doing. There goes Palantir to the high side once again. 71, just another 10-cent win on this play. 70 cents on DraftKings, 10 plus pennies right here on Palantir, and the fun just keeps on going, guys. Man, this is a lot of fun. Now 15 pennies into the money. I don't know what to hit. I don't have anything else today. We're going to go 10 for 11 and more, so we'll just explode the money. This is 20 cents now in the money on Palantir. What a great day this has been. What a great trade for Palantir. Let's go. The fun just keeps on happening. It's going to be fruit salad time at some point. Welcome to Fruit Salad, brought to you by cantaloupes and grapes. There it is. Big day. We're all over this, and I hope you are. Let's keep the party going, guys.
In the time it took Sean to make that rant, I didn't have shortable shares in AMC. And immediately have them. That's how fast we get those shorts when we get those locates and have to pay for them here at Day Trade the World. So thank you very much. I got into position. Only cost me an extra penny there in that minute or so to get those shorts. But you want to make sure you are prepared. AMC was not on my list to watch, so it's not like I had a chance to do this in the pre-market. But I got 21s to the short side here. 330, of course, is going to be the stop, and just in time because it looks like it is trying to roll back over. I love beating up on AMC. I mean, are people really going to go back to the theater in the same way? Every time it's come back up, the sell-off has been a rather easy one. Boeing's still in the money, guys. We're about $3 in the money. Like I said, if you like the bottom pick here, we've been long in front of that 212.50 over and over again. At some point, I do still think we're going to break above this VWAP. It is positive news. We expected to sell that news, but now we formed a nice little long bottom. I got 213.30 is my new entry price. We were doing 212 and change before. Now we're paying up just a little bit, continuing to run. I want some out at VWAP for a $3.50 win. As you can see there, I already have an order ticket out, guys.
Guys, I just love that everybody here, you guys know what's good, and you're just talking here. Oh yeah, by the way, about that strategy and about my win ratio, look what we don't even have included in that. What about Li Auto? 34.86. It's at 35.30 right there. Guys, we are smoking today, and it just keeps on going. Thank you so much for all the love in the chat. This day can't be any better. I don't know how it gets better as far as the trading thing. There we go, guys. I just want to show the chat if you guys aren't on it. Some people aren't on it, but everybody loving it. Grow Generation brands, we haven't even checked that out. My buy on that was 16. You guys can type that in, see what that's at there. Everyone loves it. They want the flosses. They want everything. Rally Monkey. Sean goes over the under on that number on the 9 for 10. Everything brought to you by Cantaloupe. 100% right. Sean dropping bars, singing, swinging, everything. This is what it is. Thank you so much for all of that. Palantir as well. Everything ripping to the high side. What a great day for us here, guys. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for everything on this chat. So good. And we're loving it today. 11:30. We are going to be live soon at 8:30. Coming on November 30th. I don't have the thing up, but November 30th, we're going to be live at 8:30. And you can get more of me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to be live. Look at Li Auto, guys. Just keeps on going. It's a disco ball kind of day as we now go 11 for 12. I don't know. I can review them, but you can see at the bottom all the damage that we're doing to this market. There goes Palantir, now 12 cents in the money off this long. What else can we do, guys?
Level 2 size action here on the way upside just got broken, so I was trying to show you 216 here that just got taken out. If I see something like that, the target range was 17 in VWAP, so if it breaks upside of a level like this, like I just saw, and then rejects, I'll just get out manually on the way back in, as opposed to it having to hit my target. It's one of those things where you don't want to quibble over whether you win $3 or $3.25 or $3.50 or $3.70. At the end of the day, you're playing the move, and if I expect there could be a turn here, I just saw someone make a bit of a bet to either exit their long trade or maybe go short in front of VWAP. And either way, it was not a small size bet on Boeing. So I will take the winner and run here. And if it's $3, it's $3. I'm still looking for a little bit closer to VWAP on that trade, guys. Watch out for AMC because 330 is going to be the top. If it breaks it, I'll look for something a little bit higher. But I'm only shorting off of this level here, and it's right here, right now on AMC at 330. But my eyes are glued to Boeing because I might have to get out of this one manually to take my profits in case it rolls over right here.
My eyes are just glued to the cash right now because we are in that. Look at that out right there, 83s on Palantir. Are you kidding me right now? What kind of a day this has been? Lee Auto, are you kidding me, Lee Auto? A beautiful move to the high of the day, and we talked about this. I don't even use this relative strength. You know what? I'm getting this relative strength out of here. I'm not using anything, man. I'm just using what I'm doing right now. Delete, see ya. I don't need you in there. We're not even using that. We're just playing with these magic fingers, and we're just hitting these winners for you guys live on the air every single day. Today's an 11 for 12 day. I'll count out. How do I even trade 12 symbols? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still 9 for 10. That 11 for 12 is not the case. We do take the loss, though, on target, which is hilarious. I mean, I'm really happy that my only loss is a stock that's at 52-week highs. This is my only loss today, guys. A 167.20. And it's not even a lot. Like, we got out of 40% right here on that move. We just held it for the end. We thought Target was going to do this, and it does it. This is the only loss. I can't even show you a chart with other losers on it, guys. So this has been a big trade today for me and a big day for me as well. So if you guys can't tell, I mean, then I'm sorry, but you should be able to tell at this point. 60 cents in the money right there, 3 cents in the money on PCG. I think we probably got to get out of this one. It's not really doing anything. And then Palantir just keeps on pushing, man. Another 14 cents in the money. What a great day it's been. Hydration Nation, shout out to all my Hydration Nation members. If you want to become a member, just put it in the chat. You can as well. What we do is we drink the water and we get it. And you're right, Dan McIsaac. Thank you for everything. You do follow me on Twitter as well. All of this, and it's free. So there you go, Neil. Big time love on the chat today.
Yeah, and I told you guys manually going to be getting out of the Boeing trade, and it's exactly what I did here at 216. Every now and then you can have a stop, a trailing stop, whatever you want to use. This time I just wanted to see the actual price action around where that buyer was. I was able to slide out of there, so it's just shy of that $3 win that we're going to be looking for. A couple of ways I still want to play this. You're gonna obviously see a retracement still be on in this name, and I think that's an important thing here. It is still sliding to the downside ultimately, but this is a great bottom, and I will take another shot at it if we bounce off of, it's been first 212 to 213, then we longed at 213. We couldn't even get a breakdown there. I might have to chase this one between 13 and 14 for the next little long trade, guys, but either way, it looks like it's a turn for me. I know it seems like this stock is in the downward trend, but I'm only going long in Boeing. And look, if 210 breaks, I guess all bets are off in that case, but I'm still only going long for the time being in Boeing. And I'm now looking for a pullback into the 213 range. I'm going to stick with the stock that has been my best read because it's just the best way to play here. If I trade like 10 or 11 symbols in a day, I'm never even thinking that I'm going to go 11 for 12 because that's not necessarily going to be my style. I usually end up like 5 or 6, and then one stock or two is going to be the bigger win, and then small hits all across the board. Boeing right now looks like it's going to be the best of bunch for me. We'll see what happens with AMC. I don't want to write anything off too soon, but I did get the last entry here in front of that 330. For now, it's turning, but it's a hard short in front of that level, and I showed you guys in the higher time frame. It's not just the fact that it's a high day. I usually like to have 2 or 3 levels when I look at the weekly chart that give me an indication that I like this type of a trade. If you're catching it for the first time here, the only reason you're getting it in the pre-market at that level is because you went back and looked. I don't think it's a coincidence that it turned at that same price. That's why I'm digging into AMC in front of 330. I'm not reversing long on AMC. Sometimes I would, but not on this particular name. So it's just short in front. I'll lose the 7 or 8 pennies if it does lose. And if it's a winner, I think it goes all the way down to 3 even.
All right. Yeah, we're still looking. It's funny because normally I do crush Boeing, and I'm really surprised I'm not in Boeing right now. Okay, there it is, out of PCG for the cash. Spin it again. Let's go, Brendan.
Another one here, guys, just popping back up. MIT, this is AG Investments, a little mortgage REIT. New day highs here. Not seeing anything in the way of news on this, but trying to break out of this channel that it's been in on the daily chart for quite some time. But nice day here for MITT.
All right. And yeah, you know what the thing about it is here, guys. Look, everybody has their style. And like Neil said, he may never go 11 for 12, but some people like Neil's style. And again, it's just what you do, right? You got to trade your own game. And at the end of the day, I make my money, Neil makes his money, you make your money. We all do it and we lose. So sometimes we have opposite opinions as well. We trade different styles, guys. So that was good that we did bring that up. So that's, thank you for that on the chat, guys. And you'll just follow whomever wherever you want to. You can see the profits at the bottom. I don't look at that. I have no idea. I see it scrolling at the bottom. I just see our positions, not our profits. I can see what I'm trading here today. And again, everything's been really, really positive. And there goes Li Auto right now. I mean, you want to smash something, you could smash stocks with me because Li Auto right there, now 85 cents in the money. I haven't even tweeted anything out today. I've been so busy trading, but if you did want to follow any of us at TraderTV.live, all of us, find the main link and then you can find us all. Now there goes Li Auto. Let's go, baby. This is now $1 in the money. We just keep spinning it, Neil.
Watch out, AMC just broke the top off. Like I said, I'm not going long in the name, but if you are looking at the long trade, I'd probably give it to like 320. I feel like there was one thing that we forgot to cover today, and we went over this. We did go over the Pfizer news, but unfortunately, the one execution you won't see me in is Pfizer. At least we did try to cover, at least I did try to tell you what I was looking for. It's just Pfizer isn't always the best day trading stock. The fact that it actually would have gone almost exactly to plan, where on the open, it buys into the top and then gives you the hard retracement. It is what it is. The problem is it just took a while for this trade to happen. It didn't go all the way down to 35 even. That would have been fantastic if it did. But you got to pick your spots. And the reason I will gravitate away from Pfizer on a day like today, despite the fact that it was front of the news cycle, was it's not always the most volatile name in the world. You see it even only up 1.5%. But today it did put in a good range. It gave you that dollar win. You got to be able to pare down your list at least a little bit. And that's the reason why I threw that Pfizer idea not out the window, just it was on the back burner. If you do watch the show from 9 a.m., we do try to cover our thoughts on all of these trades, whether we take them or not. And that's the thing. We'll never get every single stock that we want to trade on the day. Like Sean mentioned, I was in Target as well. And it's going to happen to you. There's a difference between like a read or a call and an execution. And I think I don't mind the execution that I had on Target. I got the price that I wanted, which was 160. I wanted 167.40. That was, it was a key price for me that I liked. It did break down and violate this opening range bottom here, so I did take it out. I only wanted to risk $1 to try and make anywhere from 3 to 5, so the risk to reward was there. It just happened to stop me out, and it went even further. So even if I had a $2 stop on it, it would have probably tested and broken that as well. So it is what it is. I was probably always going to lose on that trade. Only mistake was not getting back in when it gave consolidation at the exact same price. It was a meeting with our traders in the afternoon that Greg held. And I actually asked him this exact question when it came right back to your entry and gave another signal. Why not just get back in? Then I don't do it myself here today. Either way, I've learned my lesson on that one. Brendan is at the big screen. Time for the morning wrap.
Hey guys, yeah, we'll wrap things up, have a look at the markets. We'll have a look at a few symbols here to talk about heading towards the afternoon. Just saw we were above 900 there, 29,000, about 909. So we were watching 30,000 again today, but didn't actually get above it. We're still up though on the Dow, 0.35%, S&P 0.13%, NASDAQ, yeah, still red, but just barely, 0.09% there for the NASDAQ 100. Russell has been the big winner today, 0.5%, big winner, I guess, for small caps so far. The TSX here in Toronto, positive. BOVESPA still in negative territory, only 0.6%. I'll shift over and show you some top symbols from the day. 2 days in a row, guys. Boeing, top of the list here. Per share P&L on that side. NEO on here, Palantir, and Socket Mobile, 250 for that SCKT. Here's Boeing. Yeah, big flush we were talking about off of the open all the way down to 212 ended up being the base. Kind of chopping around in about a $3 range right now for that BA. That's not the right chart. Did I not leave it on? So you know the other ones. NEO, there's Palantir, that Socket Mobile, that little tiny micro cap guys, all very, very positive on the day. Back to you.
Yeah, no, I never heard of that Palantir stock. Unfortunately, we did get out of, thanks to you, Brendan, for that. That's a great little recap with only 20 minutes left to go in the show. Look at this, guys. PCG, unfortunately, we did get out there. Tired of this bouncing off 72, but there it is, the 81 and 82. Again, guys, there's just another one for you, as we didn't want to stand in front of that train, but here it goes. a good thing blood didn't fly everywhere there. PCG, though, we get out of that one, and welcome to another win. If you're still in that, you're welcome on that one as well, but we'll wait to see. Lee Auto, $1 in the money. It goes all the way to 36. I'm not going to give this one past 50, so we will make sure to take about 70 cents if it does break through 50. That's our out spot right here on LI, guys. Lee Auto. Right now, we're going to get out soon. I do have just a stop order in, so I don't use my hands for this. This order's already in. The minute it triggers, it's going to go out, and I think that that's something that's really important to understand, because that was able to get me out of this move here. When GM came and said, maybe we're not doing anything with Nikola, that was off this long. Like, look at this long, 23.36, out right there and then out again. But right here, you're just going to notice a little bit of a movement back down, upside. These are manual trades. This one's automatic. Otherwise, there's no way you could catch that.
Whoa.
Same thing is about to happen right now on Lee Auto, as it looks like it's going to fade back through. Right now, the print of 45 is going to get me out. So we're waiting for that. 45 on Lee Auto, and we get out. But right now, still a 70-cent winner.
So yeah, ICFSL 2 guys going a little bit nuts. Not the first day that it's done it, but it had pulled back off of a couple of days worth of a strong movement to the upside is the word I'm going to use here. So look, at this time, if you miss this much of a move up, I don't chase it. It doesn't happen. No way, no how. I'm going to be looking for where it might turn. There hasn't even been that one like defining, parabolic. This is a very orderly climb up, and as much as 25% up can be orderly, that's exactly what it's been so far. And this is it never gapped up. That's why it was in front of the mind. I'm going to look for either a big sell comes in, like you get that 5-10% retracement, and then consolidation off that. I'll go short. I get another stronger, quicker move up violently on volume into a halt or something along those lines. I would maybe look at a bit of an F sell here. I have to go, and this is important enough that I'm going to say it a second time. You saw Brendan in the wrap talk about Socket, and yeah, that certainly was one of the top stocks today. Not necessarily because of me, and this entry looks like it's going to be really good, and I talked about it consolidating and saying wait for 3 to break to take more shares. Did exactly that, but a gigantic mistake, and I said this once and I'll say it again. It tested this 3 even area right at the open, hard rejected it, able to get some out at the very bottom of the day, still actually 275. It comes back up and it retests 3. It does that same failed break, only this time, instead of allowing it to break and see if it tests a higher level and holds, I just got out in the break of 3 even. Why? Size on the offer. That is not a good reason for a level like that. And I get fooled by it every now and then because I'm not looking at my chart when I make that execution. Obviously, it works out. So, you have to make sure you hold yourself accountable for something like this. And I know it was a big mistake by me. I can promise you Brendan didn't get tricked by that. He probably still has some short. If this thing breaks 275, I think all the chance in the world you're getting out at 250. But watch out. When levels like these hold on these gap up type plays, you still can get a secondary push in the afternoon. And 275, that is an obvious double bottom. I tried it on KZIA. That ended up going up despite the fact that I got caught in a short in it. That looked like it was a long trade. It was the same thing with DNK yesterday when it made a double bottom like this. It made a strong move in the afternoon. You could have had that one on a breakout. So let's watch out for Socket to make a push here. Now, I wouldn't go long at 3. I would give it to this 310 to 315 area for all the reasons I just outlined, but 275 looks like a solid level here on Socket.
I know you guys are missing Randy. We're all missing Randy. I saw that comment there on the chat. Someone wanted to bring Randy back on the show, and we will, man. Randy is part of our operations team, dealing with IT, dealing with some logistics, and we rotate them in and out, of course, with COVID still. And it's small. I know we had 1,200 cases or something in Ontario yesterday, which is pretty small, but we are, easing back on some of that support. So Randy comes in once or twice a week, and next time he's on, we'll do something. Maybe he'll go up there and talk a little electric vehicles with you, with Brendan. We can do a spot on the show right away, so there's no problem with that. Randy's a great guy. I've known Randy. I've been trading for 18 years, and I've known Randy for 18 years. So that's how long he's been here as well. So good job on that one. We do love some Randy. Someone said to us, am I done with Palantir? Okay, there goes Lee Auto. So we just add that. So maybe now it's 10 for 11. We'll go roller coaster as it breaks through. We could have taken high out at 36 off this 34 long. I mean, this long was never really in trouble. It did go down 20 cents against us, touched VWAP and then bounced up. That's never going to be enough to get me out. And then goes ripped to the upside for $1.20. So 20-cent risk, $1.20 in the profit there. And we wound up taking 75 cents on, which might have been a bad out there. It just wicks down to 40. But hey, you can't be, a disciplined kind of guy and have those orders not out. So that's just that. Right now I'm flat, man. It's been a good day. I'm at my highest point of the day, sub Bitcoin. We did talk about that. I made a bunch of trades today, 175 fills. Like, look at this chart for me today. And I missed up basically all the way long. We did get a good piece long down here, but yeah, this has been very fun for me to trade today. And I was a busy dude on GBTC. What's up, B?
Wow, that looks like a Christmas tree. Yeah, DNK. This is that crazy DNK stock. 2 days in a row we were talking about $5 up here. Seems to be a bit of a magnet. Squeezes all the way up to 460. Looks like it's going to turn on a dime, but I don't know. I mean, you look at the daily chart. I think it has to get to 5, even 520. And then hold there before we try and get in front of anything. I tried it down there at 4, but yeah, blasted right through that. So volume, one of the only things, the point here, one of the only things still doing volume, guys, is this DNK. Just pop back up on a volume scanner.
I did see a volume spike in this name, that MFPG, and that's what sort of brought me back to it. But it's literally not moving. But look, I said this twice. I'm going to say it a third time here. If you're looking for something that also might go in the afternoon, I've been sitting short this name off of this 75 level over and over again. It keeps testing right here at 82. I like 85 for a bit of an out here. But if it breaks, I think it's making a test of the high. 5 even could be a break as well on MFGP. Now, this volume spike, people ask us about dark pools all the time. I'm not saying I know 100%. That this print here, whatever caused this volume spike, was a dark pool, and you can't see it, so I'm going to do this for you guys. There you go. I'm not saying 100% it was a dark pool, but the fact you have no movement out of this range when you get a spike like that, which is as much volume as it's done since it was moving off the open, that's a big indication that you're just looking at a block print or a dark pool print, and it might not mean anything. So it's not, that's not something you can say 100% is going to be true, but it's just a bit of the trick of the trade. It should have moved the stock out of the range. If it didn't, good chance it was nothing more than a block print. I still like this one for a breakout trade at 85, but I'm holding my short. I'm not covering anything until it breaks down towards the low end of the range. So if I'm risking 10 cents, it's got to make at least that for me to get out of it. I love the fact that that was a dark pool print, because had that been a volume mover to the upside, I'd probably be covering it manually. Not gonna have to do that, it does seem. Last one before you get out. We do have like 10 minutes left here, guys. So I'm gonna cover what I still have on in some trades here. EGY. Sliding in the money for us the entire way on this short. I still have all of my targets down towards $1 on this trade. I've been short all morning at $1.39 and $1.36, $1.37. Those are the only two entries I have. I'm not covering anything else until it breaks down towards this dollar range or gives my stop out at 135, which is just slightly past break even on this trade. So that one should be okay. And of course, I am still holding MFGP, but I just went over that one for you. As far as Boeing goes, I did accidentally trigger into short. Now, I had a trailing stop, and it's going to happen to you guys. I had a trailing stop in here when I was trying to get that long, or trying to get out of that long trade. I went manual, covered it myself. The trail hit. I got out of it. I'll pay the spread, about 15 or 20 cents. But again, you get a trade you don't want there. Even though it looks like it's going to roll over and be a winning trade, doesn't matter. I don't care. A winning trade in something you didn't mean to do or was against your plan of action is not something you should record mentally as a win. That's a mistake. You should just get out of it. I'm still looking for a long bounce on Boeing, and that'll be off this 212.50 area, same as we did before.
Yeah, that is a common mistake, guys. You want to make sure that if you make money, make it on purpose. Don't make it by a fluke, that's for sure. And as long as you're following our trades, it should make sense to you what we're doing and why we're doing that. 466. We're going to take a little bit of a break here on Tesla. If it breaks through 466, we will take it. This has been a nice run, man, up 5%. Someone asked me the other day, is Tesla going back to all-time highs? This was before the S&P, and we said yes. So why not, man? 540 all-time highs. Actually, I got to cancel my order. I wanted the high there, 466.50. I thought it was 466. I actually missed these wicks. 466.50. We're going to go long here on Tesla if that does come in. But other than that, man, I'm just waiting for more action to come through here. It's like Neil said, what is that smell? I don't know, pasta. It smells something Italian, which for me is going to be fine, but whatever. It's not homemade, so whatever. Okay, we'll back this up here. I'm sure it's homemade, but not by an Italian. Okay, 1830 to the downside. Someone asked me if I was done Palantir, and I answered that yes. And the reason why, oh, get off here. I don't need that. The reason why is that it's just the price action's negative here, and I'll have no problem shorting Palantir, but it broke through this VWAP, and I was not involved. That's where we got out. I don't get involved again in Palantir until we take this out again. So 1860 is going to be another long in Palantir, and I'm not sure. It doesn't trade well in the afternoon. You could see yesterday afternoon just makes a high. This is right about now. I mean, this is the move off of 1140, so it did make a move up, but look at the rest of the afternoon fading back down. So just watch out, man. Palantir up again today, almost another 10% at its highs.
Like, and again, we just went over this, and thank you, Sean. Like, we talked about making a mistake and just get out of the trade, but it's comical how good that Boeing short accidentally would have been, because it just fell off the earth here. I didn't think we'd get back to this 212.50 area that quickly. Obviously, a bit of a volume spike into this move here. That is not the way that I enter into a dip buy trade on something which is trending to the downside. So needless to say, at 1150, I'm not going to stand in front of the sword here. It has to actually calm down, hold some of these levels, and come back up before I'm going long in Boeing. But I find it absolutely hilarious that the accidental short ends up being like a quick little dollar winner just a minutes later. But again, guys, that's just, it's a bit of a fluke, guys. You have to play things according to your plan. And my plan was not to get into that short trade. That's why I didn't do it. Just to quickly go back to, people were asking about, I mean, fuel cell, it has been going upside, hasn't halted, hasn't gone parabolic just yet. It did try this pullback here off of 520, but that's not quite deep enough. It's only about 25 cents or so, so like 5%. I was looking at 5 to 10% downside consolidation that I would short off of. That would have been closer to this level here at 480. So I'm still watching FCell here, and I probably will make a trade at some point. It just hasn't quite gotten to the point that I'm confident going short in it yet. It's such a, look, it's a strong move up, and it is just such a, I mean, Palantir moves up in this way, and that's why I never short that stock either, because it's orderly. It's not snapping up like it's out of control. It's just continuous and relentless buying. Every single pullback is bought early. There's just not much of an, it's chewing through offers. All the kind of things you don't want to stand in front of as a short seller. FCell is doing a lot of those today.
Oh man, guys. Why did I cancel that order? It was 466, and 466.10. I was like, oh, I want 466.50 on Tesla. I hope, look, regardless, I don't have it. It would be 11 for 12, but there's Tesla. We talked about this 466. I canceled the order I had in to put in a 466.50. So you want to go reverse keystroke? There it is. Not putting the order in that I gave to you guys. But whatever. Yeah, poor Sean Chazdesk. Yeah, I know. Don't feel bad for me. Trust me. But the point is that we did have that, guys. And I know that you are loving the calls today. And there's another one, man. 466. I just didn't. I had the order in at 466.10. And then I was going to change it to 466.50. Didn't have time to put these magic hands to work, Brendan.
Another little one here, guys. Little Canadian biotech just popping up. Not saying anything yet as far as headlines on this. There was a Evercore price target increase and upgrade today, but middle of the day random volume coming into this one. BLU on the NASDAQ, now 15%, guys.
That was help. I can't say I've never heard of that.
We can look at that. NASDAQ, okay, Tesla right now taking out 470. Okay, size at 470. You guys want some education. Here we go. Watch this. You may have never seen this. Watch it just chew this up right now. So you have about 60 or 70,000 shares or more. 50 plus 20, 20, 20, about 100,000 shares there. You see it run away from that? Like, there's no reason for it to stop other than it sees that size there. Let's find it. There on the level 2. Now it's gone. It's taking away. Here it comes back up. Watch this. It's probably just going to get chewed away. It's already getting down there. As soon as it cracks that, you might see 470.50, maybe right to 471. It's just got to beat that size right there. I'm hella long Tesla as well, one of my big holdings, so I'm really happy with the way this one's moving. But see it running away from that? Watch the break right now. I don't have the order out, but this is going to break and break pretty hard, so watch it. Here we go. 470, watch Tesla. You can see the time in sales going streaming like crazy. And see ya right up there. I said 471. There it is, 471. Right up there, $1 instantly, and you had no chance but to take, no option, but to take that 50 cents or $1 win. So there it is. Just wanted to show you that. Hope you like that. Tesla setting the world on fire.
Yeah, level 2 is such an important factor. And look, I get it. Some of you guys have access to it. For those of you that don't, that's why we try to make sure every single time we see something that's going to be interesting on that level 2, you guys are going to know it in real time. I want to come back to Lowe's. I know we only have a few minutes left on the show, and this was obviously going to be in play. Disappointing earnings for them. They were the retailer too short. I had a bit of a plan of action for 2 shorts. I took one and lost. The second one obviously would have worked, but I didn't get into it. It is what it is. You will miss trades from time to time. But it's retesting this opening range bottom here below that 150 mark. And it's like 149.50 to 149.75. And I apologize for these dark pool wicks here, throwing off the scaling. And then if it breaks that level, got to watch out for 148.80 to the downside. So if Lowe's enters this price range, I think it's a better fade into this pre-market level here at 148.80. And then you can maybe use like 150 or VWAP as a bit of an out. But Lowe's, I mean, it's just been grinding to the downside. It's poised to break down. The market's trying to rally to the upside here, and Lowe's is, I mean, I'm sure the stocks that are down more today, but certainly one of the big names, it's definitely one of the weakest ones. So if we're going to fall off in the afternoon, this is a name that I would prefer to be shorting into, guys. So Lowe's, that's just a little bit of a look here. I haven't thought about long in the stock all day, and I'm probably not going to look to do that in the afternoon either.
All right, guys, I just want to say thank you so much to all the love here. I mean, I read the chat as we go, especially when it's a little bit slower here, and I just want to say thank you to everybody here on the chat. Just talking about everything. I talked you into some of those trades. I hope that's a good one there. What's the plan if NEO approaches resistance? I'll go over that in a second. But guys, thank you so much. And look, what I'm really like here is that we're talking about Shankatia. That's the best education. It's real-time education. I'm going to throw something now because Tesla, 466 was the call. It's 473 there, Valeria. Sorry, no Tesla for you today, but Valeria's going to hit trading soon one day, I think. Her favorite stock, Starbucks. Valeria, Starbucks just hit 52-week highs, so good job making that call. So if anybody's long Starbucks, that's Valeria's favorite stock. What's up, B?
It's about that time, guys. We have a couple more minutes before we get out of here for the day. Going to have to check in on some earnings coming up both after market tonight and before the open tomorrow. I wanted to show this chart if we could, Robbie, real quick, because this one is on that board, and this is a big move. 3% on heavy volume for this Billy today. Earnings after market tonight. So could be an interesting one, possibly to the downside. We'll see what happens, obviously, but let's have a look at what's coming up. As I mentioned, aftermarket or before the open tomorrow. Big names on there again today.
Front and center.
Yeah, the biggest and the baddest, man. NVIDIA, my boys right there. You're going to see that. I do like the Billy, of course. Oh, yeah, and Macy's. We're going to find out what the short interest is on Macy's. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys, looking at those stocks. I do like the short there in Macy's for sure. Some retail has been doing well. Not sure about that one. We'll find out. The state of New York getting better, obviously, with their COVID, other than some of the other parts of the U.S. Look at Tesla, guys, 475.
Yeah, and I think the reason you look at Macy's is you have seen pretty solid numbers, at least for the time being, in some of the retail space. But that retail sales number that came out yesterday was a bit of a disappointment. So that could be reflected at least a little bit in Macy's. And if they are negative, you saw there was an opportunity on Lowe's. So the lessons learned from Lowe's, I'll try to do in the off chance that Macy's misses. Of course, if that happens, you have to have a plan of action. Try to learn from those lessons and make that coin the other way, guys. And I mean, 15 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago, Sean was asking about the short interest. 38.7% on Macy's, according to Brennan. Doesn't mean not to short it. It just means tread very, very carefully. How have we not looked at this name, or at least a name related to our national day, or what national day it is today? So we're going to go to Valeria, and I'm a little surprised that with that Pfizer news that we never covered a related name here, but let's go to Valeria to find out.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, another great trading morning together. Thank you for all the support. And please, if you haven't liked this video yet, smash the like button right now, as we need just 1,300 of likes more to get 2,000 of likes. Guys, we're back live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with some good educational content. And indeed, today is a special day, as today is birthday of Mickey Mouse, everyone. Hey.
It's weird to me that I did not see anyone talking about Mickey Mouse's birthday. It would have been nice to talk about Disney today. Certainly, it does fall into that recovery space. But either way, obviously, yeah. I mean, I don't have any bad memories of Disney World, Disneyland, the times that I've been, and everyone has positive thoughts there. That's one of the things I love about Disney in terms of a long term. Everyone still wants to go there. It's like a thing you cross off on that bucket list to take your kids to go and do. So when things get back to normal, I feel like Disney's poised. And like I always say, they can just take my money when it comes to any of their Star Wars, whether it's Mandalorian. I don't really care what they do. They could charge like $50 and I would probably pay it because I'm a sucker.
And I want to thank Neil for that because Disney is one of my largest holdings, and we'll take Neil's money and run because we went long down here, guys, in the 80s and 90s, and just, yeah, I agree with that, man. Disney to the moon. My kids watch Frozen about 5,000 times, and it's coming frozen temperatures around here right now, so they'll be back onto that one. But yes, thank you, Neil. Keep it coming, buddy.
Yeah, and where's Frozen 3? I mean, I've watched those movies entirely too many times. I would love for something fresh. So please make a Frozen 3 so my daughter has something else to watch. But either way, guys, it's been a fantastic morning. I do want to remind everybody, Valeria mentioned we're back in an hour for some live educational content, but we're also dropping this video. It's right there right now. And Sean is definitely interested in potential election trades. We go over a couple of ideas for you. So check out that. It is on our Market Wisdom page. As always, if you got suggestions for videos you want us to cover, throw it in the chat, tweet at us, throw it in the comment section of any of those videos. We are back in an hour, like I mentioned, but for the time being, for Valeria, for my main man Sean Katina over there, and for Brendan, how fast was he to get that short interest? That was a little bit quick. It's almost like he knew it was coming. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you tomorrow, guys.